But this girl was messing with this armored car guy. He'd go to the bathroom, she'd take pictures of the trip tickets. So you look for the best location to whack the armored car. Well, you need money to operate, so we hit the bank, I would hop over the counter and take all the money out of the bottom drawers. No die packs, no alarms, nobody gets hurt. Shut up and give me the money. Usually can hit like 3 tellers, we'd average around 50 grand. My earliest memory that I think my interaction with crime and violence, which may or may not have set me on that path, is somebody in my family did something wrong to somebody. I don't know the story, but I know this. At like 2 a.m, around 1974, I was 7, I think, and someone threw a Molotov cocktail through our window. All right, yeah, it makes me nuts even thinking about it now. So we barely survived that. Somebody tried to erase my whole family. All right, but somebody was awake. My mother was coming home from somewhere. I seen the smoke. We just got lucky. I went tumbling down the stairs. 2 of my brothers jumped out 3rd floor windows. My other brother jumped out off the 2nd floor roof. And I didn't really quite understand. I remember somebody picked me up and carried me. It could have been a fireman. And I remember as he's carrying me, I look over and the flames are shooting so far out the house. They're looking at the high power lines, all right? And it was so bad, it burnt down the house next door. The firefighters had to run over there and get those people out. And I got the article somewhere. I went and got it. And so we moved to another side of a province, near on the south side, right? And a couple years later, they found this guy dead, drowning. What happened to him, I do not know. It was just a kid. My mother's dead now. I know she rubs shoulders with a lot of the wise guys and stuff. Did I have anything to do with it? No. Is it a good sound for the story? Yeah, of course. But I don't know what happened. I know they found that prick dead. I remember them celebrating when I came home from school one day. I'm like, what's going on? He's dead. That bastard's gone. Something like that. No, I didn't really know. My mother had no nurturing skills at all. She had a rough life. I don't hold it against her. But she didn't. I really didn't have a mother or a father. But for a brief time after the fire, let me say this. Now, I'm really putting stuff out there, but it's no secret around here. My mother became a lesbian. She was dating a rich lesbian. That rich lesbian got us to a nice house. Then one of my brothers started robbing the neighborhood. Ugh. And we had a Jewish family. It was like a Jewish area. Even the street I lived on, it was Jewish, Kipling Street. It's off the Elmwood Avenue section. I got to tell you this story because it's interesting. So one day the cops raided our house, a bunch of stolen stuff from the neighborhoods in our garage. The Jewish people, they put together something. They put together a petition. I didn't understand what was going on then. I knew later when I got older. The neighborhood petition to get us the hell out of the neighborhood. And I laugh now, but damn. And back to the west side we went, a block away from where the house fire happened. I forgot to leave. I left this part out. My grandmother, my foster grandmother, an Irish woman, Mary O'Donnell, was really the only one who raised us. So I was 10 by the time we got to Cranston Street on the west side. She died. That's it. It was over. I had nobody looking out for me. No one paying attention. I didn't go to school. I started running the streets. I'm 10. I'm surviving on my own, basically. It was, you could eat at the house and stuff like that. Because me and my brothers lived on the 3rd floor. We had no running water or heat up there. The 2nd floor was where my foster grandfather and my sister, my mother would occasionally stay. That was a house, so to speak. The 3rd floor, it reminded me of an old Western hotel. You're watching a Wild West movie, right? With a bunch of old raggedy, rickety doors. And the house was sold. It had the kerosene, copper, brass things in the wall when they used to light it for light before electricity. All right, this house was condemned and they tore it down. But that's where it began for me. When I embraced the streets, I was in like the 5th grade. There was a lounge in my neighborhood, but I didn't go there till. But anyway, let me back it up. So I was 10. I was going to middle school, but because we were poor, poor in those days, in the early 80s and 70s, a little different when they say poor now. Now they tell you they're poor with Jordans on. I had the ripped sneakers, the dirty clothes, and the kids would laugh at me. And I didn't tolerate that. It had a reaction on me. I responded with violence. Fist fight, smash a guy with something, a bottle. I say a guy, but I was a kid. But I learned the wrong way, obviously, how to get respect. But we know now it's false respect when they're using violence to shut people up. I had to shut them kids up. I couldn't walk into school, they're snickering by my back. And what a feeling that left me. I didn't understand any of that. But I used a little bit of violence and I got respect. People would shut their mouth now when I walked by. But that was fair. That wasn't real respect, of course.
Yeah.
And I was doing the things kids doing in the cities. By 11, we'd grab beer off the beer truck when it was unloading into the bar, copper off another van. Maybe it's in the neighborhood to do something, stealing car batteries, car radios. Then I graduated to the hubcaps and eventually the whole car. So by 13, you could say is when I really entered the life of crime. Because I had a couple of brothers that were pimps. They pimp girls, all right? So I grew up around a lot of hookers. I wake up in bed, I got a hooker taking a break from the street, I'm a little kid. Hey, cut it out, Dean. Get off me. Just a little kid. But they were like older sisters to me, all right? I grew up around a lot of hookers and hustlers. So on our third floor was a neighborhood hangout, crap games, dope fiends in another room. You open another door, there's a trick with a hooker. A mob guy might come up looking for a guy who did something wrong. The cops will raid the joint. It's a great place for a kid who embraced the streets, I'll tell you that. I loved it there. I had my own little room with a padlock, the house was brutal, though. You can hear the rats crawling around at night. Inside my stereo with needleless cockroaches, that was brutal, right? But it was mine. The stolen TV on top of the radio, all that. So I had my own little room. In some ways, it was the best thing as a kid, but obviously it's the worst. Because look at the behaviors I was learning, acquiring my own stuff through stealing and calling it mine. I'd steal a car and act like it was mine. So I would mimic my first time driving. I'm around 12. I mimicked my mother. I would steal her car at night, driving around a little bit. Eventually, I learned to steal her car. Now, there was a lounge in my neighborhood, the firefighters' lounge. And I needed to hang in there because of the pinball machines. It was like a den of criminals around there, wise guys, all kind of thieves in and out of there. There was two of them, the Aces Lounge up the street, too. The guy didn't want me in there. He can't, and then one day I looked at his car. He had a Mercury Montego. He needed tires. And just when I started becoming wise, I said, hey, I got 14-inch tires out there for you. So I gave him the tires. He let me hang there. And that became my second home. And I think from there, I went from bad to worse. That's when I meet all the different characters. And then I started doing burglaries with a guy. Did that for a while. But for some reason, what happened also to me, if I can continue to ramble on this topic, I was going to the juvenile training school, which I think I went at 13 for the first time. But I just could not stand being in a cage. So every time I got a chance, I escaped. I escaped like 4 times. Now, I don't make it look like this big grand escape. These are like minimum security type levels. You'd have to wait to get out of maximum security. But it's still, the main thing is if you could make it from Cranston all the way back to Providence on foot and beat the Cranston police, that was like, people would bet on you. As soon as you're I'll bet you $10 you don't make it. I made it every time through the city to my city. That was the thing, hiding behind trees, under cars, climbing, all kind of nonsense to make it home. But each time I escaped, I'd come back with a felony attached. The first time, I think it was a B&E stolen car. Next time, second time, something else. Third time was an armed robbery. I was graduating. I'd go to what they called the YCC. That was the real prison for juveniles, Youth Correctional Center. But I'm going to tell you what happened. This is what I believe. This is interesting. On my third escape, what I was doing, I hated authority. I was a very internal kid and quiet, and I went to a lot with the staff there. I was just driving my stolen car up to the training school, leaving drugs at certain spots for guys. Anybody want to leave? One day I'm sitting in the car. I got like a 38 on me. The staff whose unit I was in is walking by me looking at me. I'm like, that's right, you motherfucker. Right. Anybody want to do something now? I was something wrong with me. Yeah. And because they hurt my brother. There's a lot of reasons why I did that I can't really put together. But I needed to snub my nose at authority, and I did. But those pricks got even. I'm going to tell you what they did to me. Just want me.
Can I ask you a question real quick? How old were you?
At that time, this is between 14. I was 14 with 3 escapes. I did a whole year, and I escaped when I was 16. And this is where the real trouble began. And this is what they did to me. When I was 14, calling up to the training school, stubbing my nose at them, it took me a while to pick this apart to realize what happened. Because really, all right, so anyway, I escaped for the 4th time. By this time, my aggression was getting more, my anger was growing. And I started doing armed robberies around my state. Stealing cars, driving around, powder around my neck. I thought it was fucking John Dillinger. I was reading a lot of Dillinger books, and probably that had an impact on me. I don't know. You got to do something. Something will shape you. I was being shaped by these books and these criminals. I think it's the only best thing I could think of. What would make me do this, commit this type of behavior? Also, like, from feeling like a nobody. Because when you're in a little prison like that, I'm watching all these kids get visits. Their families bringing them stuff. I'm watching their mothers walk by. It's a fucking, everybody's happy. I'm in that fucking cell. No mother showing up, no nothing. The fucking anger that can put in you is unbelievable. And when you come out of there, the kids have a way of making you feel like, I don't know. Actually, you're doing it to yourself, I guess. But you feel like a shit, like a nobody or something. I'll show them I'm somebody. The thing is that kids are impressed with stuff like cops bringing me back with a shotgun one time, guarding me. That was a somebody, right? So I would be a bad guy to be a somebody, I guess, right? But to get back to what I was trying to say, so on the fourth escape, I did a bunch of robberies, got a bunch of high-speed chases, which I talk about in other videos. I kept getting away. I was developing this reputation. I'm a somebody now. In fact, the biggest day of my career as a kid was when they put me in the post op. What people don't know before social media, wanted picture of going to post ops. I was 16 and in the post op, I was like, yeah, you motherfuckers, I did it. It's crazy, right? But unbelievable. Oh, I say, yeah. So, I don't know if I can use this word. So I'm a punk kid running around with a gun. I go to rob a bank deposit bag in East Providence. The guy resisted, and I popped him a couple of times, okay? Not proud of that. Innocent guy, but I'm in fucking trouble now.
When you say popped him, you mean punched him? Or
I shot him. I don't know if I can say the word shot.
Yeah,
well, he actually brought the money back home. I ring the bell. He looks at this little, like a half-pint criminal with a gun. Hey, give me the money. And whatever I said to him, where's the bag? Right away, he threw a shot. This fuck. And I'll tell you this. I tell people this story, and a lot of people find some of this stuff hard to believe. So down here, I'm in his house. There's a driveway. That's like a one-way main street. I think it's Waterman Ave, I think, right? I ring the bell. He comes to the door. It just so happened, the way he grabbed me, I put it in his belly and shot him, and a state trooper rolled by. I'm like, holy shit, there's no way he didn't see that. So now I run in the guy's yard. There's a big wall. You can't go anywhere. Now, the cop can go down the road and go because all these backyards are open like cement. I'm thinking he's going to come around. Here I am in this guy's yard with a gun. Where's the cop? I don't know. That's what you get for not planning the crime. I learned a lot from that, how to plan crimes after. I trapped myself and didn't even realize it. That trooper could have had me because I got a highway here, the guy's backyard, and a big wall. Well, I couldn't even go anywhere. It was so stupid, right? But the trooper didn't come. I run back to the guy. He's now staggering around the street. Again, he throws another punch. I shot him. It went up his arm, tore through his artery. Now it's a big racket. People are in their windows. What's going on? I screw. But now I'm really wanted, of course. A couple more high-speed chases. Back then, everybody used to listen to their police scanner. So I'm like this neighborhood guy, hero, getting away from the cops all the time. People protected their criminals a little more then. You could run to everybody's backyard and go in a house, stuff like that. Those days were quickly going over. This was like 1983. I was 16. But anyway, on to what I really want to tell you is this. So when you escape from the training school and you go back, especially going back, now we got armed robberies, shootings, stolen cars. They're supposed to put you in a maximum security for a long time before they allow you into a minimum security. But no, you know what? I
killed. You're also a kid, though.
Yeah, I'm a kid. I think I messed up on the timing here. No, I got to go back to my the third escape. When I came back from the third escape, I came back for an armed robbery. I'm sorry, I got to back this up. I came back for an armed robbery. And the judge warned me. He says, Mr. Wilkinson, you realize because I was charged with escape and armed robbery. He goes, 2 felonies after the age of 16, you could be tried as an adult, right? Yeah, Your Honor. Right. I'm sorry, I'm messing this up. I had 1 escape. I had 1 more felony to go to mess up. All right. He goes, 1 more felony, you can be waived out. Okay. But I had came back for armed robbery. They were supposed to put me in a max end. What they did was they put me right in minimum security type, knowing I was going to take off. I think it was like payback for going up there and doing that shit to them, rubbing it in their face. Of course, I did what I do. I escaped. Everybody's like, ha, ha, asshole, you're going to prison now. Sure enough, I escaped again, committed all those crimes. And now I can't blame them, but I think they set me up for that. We'll fix your little ass. Want to come up here with a pistol and threaten us? And that's what happened. I escaped. Instead of being in a maximum security, I couldn't run. I went for it, came back with all those charges. It took 5 days. They had an emergency hearing, and I was so ignorant, I didn't really know exactly what was going on. I went to family court, right? The judge said you lose a lot of your legal terminology. Now, I knew the potential for going to prison's there in the back of my head. And so I don't even know what the hell they said. I go downstairs with the sheriff, the marshal back then, And so I go right to the juvenile. I say, no, you're an adult now. Act like one. And that's how I know I was going to the can, right? Everybody asks you how scared was you. No, this ain't a tough guy thing. It's an ignorant thing. I wasn't as scared as you would think. Is there a fear there? Yeah, okay. But I was overconfident because I'm full of piss and vinegar. A guy that's probably 23 would be more afraid than a kid that's 16. Not because the kid's tougher, because he's more ignorant. Like, I can handle my fucking self. You tell yourself that. When you're mature enough to know what's up against, you're like, oh, fuck, And so, off to the intake center I went at 16 years old, 1983. Prisons across the country were gladiator schools back then. Not like now, all these cameras, they come running to the codes and stuff. Back then, you're on your own. And so, that's how I ended up in prison. So, I'm in a cell. First thing they did, I didn't know what they were doing. They were fucking with me, and I didn't know why, right? They put me in a cell with a black dude. They didn't do that back then. But I didn't know any better. Just so happens I know a lot of black dudes from Southside. He was a good kid. But other people understand. What are they doing to that kid? Why is he in that guy's cell? The guard comes in my cell a couple times. No, first, I'm drinking a hot chocolate. I'm like a punk. I'm drinking a hot chocolate, eating a donut. I'm trying to watch the TV through the door. Now, this is a new modular system where you see these new buildings with the little windows. This is when they started building those types of buildings instead of just the bars and the maximum security. So they got these pods. Anyway, I'm looking at the TV. I'm rocking my feet on the top bunk looking. The guard gets in front of me on the railing out in front. I'm like, oh, back then we called him Screw or Hack. I said, hey, Screw, you're in my way. He looks back at me like, you motherfucker. He turns around. I jump down. Hey, you're right. He comes in the cell. He goes, anything extra in here? Any fucking sheets in here? I'm like, nah, what are you looking for that for? Leaves. Jeez, what's going on? It comes back. You sure you got nothing extra in here? I'm like, what the hell? The black dude said, you must have done. Now, keep in mind, I've been a bunch of robberies all over the place, right? So I said to him, you got to excuse me, I'm also Dre. So when the door popped, I said, I'm going to go talk to this guy. I said, excuse me, one of my crimes involved with something with you or your family or something? Come on the hallway. As soon as he said this, I wasn't worried. He goes, first of all, I got 9 years of karate under my belt. I'll never forget that. When he said that, I said, all right, I ain't worried about this fucking guy. He's fucking foil. You're going to tell me that instead of just fucking cracking me. I'm all right. But I couldn't believe it. You're not going to believe this. That was my father you shot. How do you like that? I shot his father in a robbery. That was his dad.
God.
The son worked at the end. I couldn't believe it. Right?
Well, you got really lucky there, huh?
No. So I said, I did not. Yes, I'm in this guy's cell block. He had a different name, first of all. So when I came in, the seals at the front, what do you call that? When you come in the front there. When you first come in.
Sallyport? Or
not the Sallyport. We come in when you get the committing room, right? And they're asking me, you know Dyers? They're saying the guy's name. No, I thought they were talking about an inmate I know, right? I was a kid. I'm looking around. I'm in prison now, right? So the guy, they busted my balls a little bit. I got a couple of beeps. They put the handcuffs up. But I was a little kid. Nobody really wanted to beat up a little kid. I'm 118 pounds. I'm about 5'3". It was around Christmas time, 83. I tried to escape one time. This was going on in the intake. There was a mob guy in my vent. It was Christmas time. They're busting our balls, playing Christmas music over the speaker. I tried to break. I was so small I could fit through that narrow window. It's all different now. They put bars up and everything because in fences. Back then, there was no fences. They just figured no man could fit out, but they didn't anticipate a little skinny kid, right? Almost got out of there. But anyway, I had a little bit of ball busting, but not what you would think for shooting CO's father, right? And on the day, some time went on. I was there for 9 months. I ended up catching like 65 years all concurrent with 10. 10 to serve, 10 suspended for all these different robberies. That was a lot of time considered in those days. Catch 10 years at 16, everybody was like, oh my God. Of course, they just throw that at you now like it's nothing. But on the day I left, I'll never forget, I was leaving the maximum security. And everybody's looking at like, don't worry, kid, your punishment is going to maximum security. Anyway, now I also had a brother in prison at the time, a little older than me. He was in the high security for stabbing somebody in max already. So I went to the guy. I said, listen, I appreciate how you maintain. Whatever I said to him, all considering everything that happened. I did say that to the guy, and he shook my hand. Because he looked at it like, it's just a punk kid lost in the streets, whatever, I
Right.
think that's how, I can't speak for him, but I think he summed it up like that. And I acknowledged that I was a punk kid in the street. Because prison has a way of maturing you real quick. You learn real fast in prison how to behave and conduct yourself, right? Or else. And so I can remember being in segregation at the intake center, right? I'm 16. I got into a fight. I'm in the hole. Now, when you're in the hole there at that time, you can see maximum security and a little bit of high security. I can see my brother in the yard off the distance because they've got this big compound. It's different here. But occasionally, there'd be something erupt in maximum security, right? And I'm in my cell one day, just fucking smoke, state police on the wall with guns, right? And guys that know what's going on, probably on their radio, because I don't know none of this stuff. There's a riot, guy got stabbed, they got the whatever they were yelling, right? I'm like a kid. I'm like, that's where you're going, kid. Jesus Christ. I got a magazine. I'd roll it up. I'm fucking, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm fucking practicing like I got a knife. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get ready. I was psyching myself to get ready because it does have prisons, old maximum security, get those cold, unforgiving auras, I like to say, right? And I know I'm heading there. And so I'd practice like that. And so anyway, I finally go. All you hear is good luck. I walked through the gate. I was 17 now. I remember the guard, he lets me in. He got one last gate to go to like this shot cage before you go in. And he's like, how old are you? I'm like, 17. He says, good luck in there, kid. Slams the door, right? And back then we had street clothes, right? And a lot of guys had street clothes. So I walked in with my street clothes. Joint was nuts, right? Very few guards. It was those little skeleton crew. I walk in, guys, the first thing I see is a older black dude in the corner. He's like a nut. He's like, I said, oh, really? I go near the first cell, it's like a closet. You had those metal mop ringers back then. But he's like a nut, right? He's looking at me. I'm like, all right. No guard around. And then they have what they call a crossover, which all the cells open. Guys can come in and run all around, run rampant to every cell block. Back then, it was like that. And so some guys come to the door I knew. But anyway, he told me, it's a nut, don't worry about it. But I'll never forget, I'm walking through the cell block. They were my cell block. These group of guys, white guys, probably Providence guys, and they're looking. And I got street clothes. Right? I said, hey, kid, what are you doing here? You from the visit? They thought I was a visitor. My visit and somehow got to the prison. I said, no, I'm in here. You're in here. Jesus Christ. Look at this kid. It sounds like this everybody's looking at me, right? And, so these guys, back then we didn't have gangs in there. We got them now, but we had crews. And our neighborhoods would sit together. You had a chair. No one would touch your chair. Other guys didn't have it. They have to stand up and eat. I kid you not. I'll wait till you were done. It was weird. But you sit with this table from there. I sat with the West End guys, which included Federal Hill, all the mob guys. West End was a tough little part of town. So I had some of the best guys around. So they're going to look out for me. But you got to be able to stand up for yourself or nobody's going to help you, right? And of course, I've told the story before. My first interaction in there with a guy, I worked in a print shop. All right. I had a few fights in between, but now I'm in maximum security. You got to step your game up, right? I'm a hairless little boy. Let's face it. Right. So, there's predators looking in the wings. They see if you got any back and stuff like that. But also it's small. So I know a lot of the old times, black and white. I grew up on the West Side with his blacks and whites, right? And I knew a lot of old timers. There was very few Spanish back then. There was like 5 Spanish guys in the old prison back then, right? And, but this big scarred up guy, the typical, you could put him in the background scene of a prison movie, right? Get that look. And they had like a little break room. I go in there, I make a coffee. I open the door, there's a milk, I grab it, I use it, I put it in the coffee, right? Hey, using my fucking milk? I didn't tell you can use my fucking milk. I said, what the fuck you talking about, Joey? Smushes me in the fucking face, right? I got no weapon on me, I learned my lesson. Big guy, I can't take it with my hands. All right. Okay, Joe. Sorry. When you do that to me, it's like, that's it. Got to get you. Right? I have to get you now. One way or another. So the next morning, he lives in the cell next to me, too. Now, keep in mind, some of the guards we knew, some of them were corrupt. We knew this corrupt guy. He was good to us, right? But you could see me in the mirror. I sneak out of my cell with a knife. I go in Joe's cell, right? This is my first hit in the joint. I don't really know what I'm doing. He's like, oh, Dean, the fuck on that song? You're doing that in my block. Come on, man. This is me and the freaking guard talking now, right? To see how the screw back then. So, all right, Johnny, what the fuck? It's fucking weird, this place at the time. Go back in my cell. We go to work, and these guys were playing cards. I knew they were going to play cards. They do every day up there in the print shop. And the guy that hit me, he does these metal plates where you take a picture of them, you put them on the machine, then you use it in the printer to print stuff, like an old print machines, right? I forget exactly what you call it, but he makes these plates. I'm on this side of him where my machine is. The card game's on the other side of him. So I told these guys, do me a favor. In 10 minutes, call me over to take your hand because you're going to use the bathroom. I had this pipe strapped to the side of me, hanging down. I took the handle off an old Heidelberg press. The funny thing is, I told this story and I watched this movie they called Seven with Will Smith, right? In the movie, he gives the girl this print machine. We used to call this print machine the Beast. It was like from the 1800s. It was a lettergraph, right? We used to call it, that's the Beast. In the movie, he gives a machine, goes, that's the Beast. And he showed him putting the handle, the very handle on that I used. It was the weirdest thing years later to see this in a movie, right? I took them off, hung it on my side. Bing, well, take my hand. So I wanted this guy to, because you can't just walk behind anybody in prison, right?
Right.
Somehow I got it off. And I fucking from downtown. Now, all things considered, not a lot of damage considered in a maximum security. But I'm a little kid. I bust his head open. He starts screaming, blood in his eye. He can't really do anything with the blood. I'm whacking him in the face a couple of times, dancing around. I had to hide the pipe under the sink. Back then, they say X-ray or something. A few guards come. It ain't like now, this big goon squad. Well, there was a goon squad, but it took a lot to get him up there. They come up in there, and he's screaming and howling like dry snitches, what we call it. And I'm like, I don't know nothing. What's going on? He goes, Dean, look at you. Fucking blood all over me. Now, I tell you, this is the best part of the story is not me hit the guy in the head. I'm not trying to brag about that. I'll tell you what it is to be a little kid to step up. Now, what I did to him wasn't shit. I mean, guys are getting fucking lit on fire, stabbed in the neck. You know, that was nothing but people say, the kid got it in him. He's a good kid, right? That type of thing. So we go out. They lead me down the stairs of the industrial building. When I get to the yard, you got to walk through the yard. The fucking cons were standing, old cons from like the 40s and 50s. Some of those fucking hats with the conductor's hats from the train. That's right, kid, you got that back. It was the moment. I don't know how to explain it. Because it was the old time cons. Like, everybody was like watching me without watching. I don't know. All the old people, hey, there's a kid in there. Keep an eye on that poor kid. I'll make sure nobody buys that type of thing, right? And so I'm walking through the yard like a little celebrity, and everybody's, yeah, kid, all the way to even the cops, the screws were like, yeah, he got what he deserved. That I only got 15 days in a hole, and I'm in the sick next to the guy, right? The fucking place was nuts back then. There was an old mob guy named Rudy, which everybody around here knows. He's passed away now, but this is my introduction to him, my introduction to him. He comes from the yard. The kind of power, the mob guys had the control of the prison back then. That meant I failed to say. We didn't have gangs, but the mob had all the control. I mean, believe me when I tell you, they ran the fucking prison for all less. And he comes down to the hole. And he brought a black dude as a representative, you know, to show respect to them. And they go to that guy's cell. You don't bother that fucking kid if you do. You're all done. I found out later. Kid, I say, hey, kid, you did the right fucking thing. Don't worry about it. There'll be no repercussions. Thank you, Mr. Schiaro. I was fucking so happy to meet this guy, right? And that was it. That was my introduction to this man. And I started to rub shoulders with those guys. On and on. I went from bad to worse. While I was on the run at 16 before I shot, which is how I ended up shooting that man in the robbery. I had stole $1,000 in a diamond ring, right? I was 16, just I was an opportunist. I commit crime. If I'm driving by your fucking house in a snowstorm and I see you backing out of your driveway and you got a fence, you got a gate, he's going to have to shut the gate. I jump out of my car, wait for you to go shut your gate, jump in your car and screw. If it's a woman, I take a pot. I was a little asshole. But anyway, so I got $1,000 in a big diamond ring like that. And so what the hell brought me to Chris? So I'm down in my old neighborhood in Chris Street. The cops are looking for me. They got all this money on me. But it was summertime. I had a coat. This kid I know, is white kids come up the street. And I tell this girl, this is a family I know. They're friends of mine. I said, can you take my coat? I can't. It's too hot out. I'm on the run. I have to leave I got clothes in everybody's house. You know how it goes, right? So I left the money in my coat. She brings the coat back to me. I pull the money out. This kid sees it. I wasn't thinking. Plus, I thought everybody feared me. I was a little full of myself, right? I got the diamond on me, $1,000. The kid knows, everyone knows I got a stolen car somewhere. I always have one a few blocks away, right? Dean, give me a ride, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, I walk with him. We go into Cranston Street. There's two other black dudes, older dudes. These guys are like 18, 19. I'm 16. I see a detective's car coming. When you're hoodlum in the street, you can see a cop 10 miles away. Oh, that's a cop. When you dip inside and let him drive by. I go in this backyard. The cop goes, detectives go, probably looking for me. I'm wanted now. But this is before the shooting. So this kid told the other two kids about the money, right? I come out. I shouldn't have been paying attention. Now I think about it, but they're like, Dean, we need a ride too. And it's not uncommon. Guys, I got a stolen car. These guys want to go to different parts of the town. Dean, give us a ride. Okay. So we start walking. And next thing you know, I'm getting fucking mugged in my own neighborhood. Oh, they cut me for my $1,000. They didn't get that ring. And they know it's on now.
What happened to honor among thieves?
Nah, these kids weren't my friends. And I should have known. I was just giving them rides. They weren't my friends, right? They ain't got no fucking money. These guys can't get no money. They're fucking petty hustlers on the street. $1,000 in 1983. All three of them could go shopping with that. You know what I'm saying? They were jealous of me, first of all. They didn't have the balls to do what I was doing. You know, all total, I had like $5,000 on me if you count the ring. The ring was a massive ring, right? I don't really know. It was about $3,000 if I remember. So I got like $4,000. They didn't get the ring. They jumped me on it. Right away, I had an old Mustang at the time. I used to steal new cars, but this time, for some reason, I had an old Mustang. And I ran to it, and I fucking ran them down. I tried to run them over. They jumped up on a porch. I crashed into a porch. I'll be back, you motherfuckers. And you know I'm coming back, right? They talk shit on the way too. Go get your gun. We don't give a fuck. I don't know why I didn't have a gun on me at the time, actually. Because I had all my money. I was settled in, all right? And we just, the cops were looking for me, so I would dip into a neighborhood, leave, dip into another neighborhood, leave, go see friends. I was always on the move. They caught me on the move like that. Right, excuse me. They robbed me. So I go to my friend on the project. First, I get a rifle, like a .22 rifle, a scope. I'm going to get on this building in the neighborhood because I know where these kids are going to be. I'm going to fucking snipe them from this roof. This story's ridiculous. I come back. So I got powder around my neck. I got the rifle sticker, fucking sweatpants in the back seat. I go into the store. I got to get my cigarettes, powder, cigarettes, and wait. Boom, right? So I come out of the fucking store. I don't know where I stole this car. There's 3 Asian guys around the car. This is when Asians first started coming to that community, right? My stories are ridiculous, I know. So there's anger in their faces. Apparently, I stole one of their cars or a relative's car. Like, what are you doing with this car? They're saying. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I know. Yeah, I'm talking right. I grabbed the fucking rifle. Get the fuck out of it. It was like a scene in Vietnam. They're all running to the field. Why I ain't getting the fucking car, I don't know, but I'm in my neighborhood now. I think I'm in my old neighborhood. Keep in mind, the last time I remember, I knew all the people. I can run through their yards. Hey, Dean. Cops are chasing me. Hey, fuck, right? That's all it was. I didn't realize I'd been away for a year. Everything had changed. I got this fucking rifle. I'm running through the neighborhood yards. There's people, I don't know, oh my God, this black African dude, shut the fuck up. And I'm threatening people. I'm running through the cops are fucking everywhere. There's a retard in the neighborhood with a gun. Right? I ran like by 4 people with a gun, the barrel sticking on, thinking the sweatpants ain't hiding it. Now I got a screw. I hide the rifle. They end up finding it. I hid under a porch. Cops everywhere. My friend, two kids I know come by on a fucking dirt bike. I jump on there. I stroll. Go back the next day. I'm getting these guys. I got to get them. So, oh yeah, there's a reason I'm telling you this story. So I take the ring. I drive up to, several miles away to another town where I know a guy. That's actually where I live now in Johnston. A couple streets away, mind you. I go to my friend's house. Now I'm on the move quickly. I want some powder, I want some money, and I need a gun. I got a diamond. Basically, give me that stuff, hold the diamond, we'll settle the score later. Now, I know he's only giving me like $1,000 worth of shit. Later on, we'll resolve it. All right, D, no problem. I go back down to the neighborhood. Now I got a brand new Monte Carlo. I always had a brand new stolen car. I don't know who the fuck I think I was, but that's what I did. I come around, they're all on the fence like little birds. Pop, 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 pop. Shoot the whole fucking place up. I can't fucking hit knock to the side of a fucking barn. That night, I'm hiding in the woods. My point is I went fucking berserk in this neighborhood. My old neighborhood, it's like not my neighborhood anymore. You know, when you're a kid, you think it's your neighborhood. Not anymore, kid. Now it's their neighborhood. You mother. I'm chasing one down the street. Pop. I go into this bar. It's all black, right? I thought he ran in there. I'm like this. Everyone's looking at me, but no one dares. But I ain't going to go in the back and get trapped. So I hold my breath to see if I can hear him breathing. Right? So nothing. I leave, but I'm causing such a disturbance. The cops keep coming. This bastard, we're going to get him. A couple more incidents. I chased one kid to the laundromat. I could have shot him through the window, but the old lady who I knew my whole life, right? She happened to be standing there. She's looking at me like, Dean, please don't do that. I could have shot the kid through the car. He was doing this whole ring around the rosy. You motherfucker, you're all dead. I'm threatening him. I could have shot him through the window of the car. And then she's looking at me. All these little things were happening, almost like God was trying to intervene or something, right? I don't know. And I didn't want to do that to her. My sister, we all knew this woman. If my sister hears this, she'll go, oh, I know who she's talking about. And just a nice lady's like, Dean, please don't do that. Just fuck you, motherfucker. I'll catch you. So there was a lot of that going on. it's weird when it's your neighbor, there's people you know and stuff like that, you know. A couple of the incidents happened that fucking elude me now, but I just kept going back down there, popping up from different areas, chasing one guy, shooting at this guy. There's three of them. I couldn't get one of them had a shotgun waiting for me. He ended up getting caught. Sorry, I'm moving around. He ended up getting caught with the shotgun and going to the feds. So what a mess this became. Okay, how did I go with this story? So eventually they trapped me in this area. It's on Silver Lake and Hartford Project. Well, you guys don't know where that is, but it's still on the west side. I get pinched. 5 days later, I'm in prison. So when I'm in prison, I'm 16. I don't really have nobody. Nobody's visiting me. My sister's not around. That's probably my only visit at the time. So I didn't really have nothing. Nobody. But I had mine. I called the training school. They had like $250 in mine. I said, listen, you guys, can you start that shit? I got nobody in here. The council was pretty cool. Goes, oh, man, they felt bad. They sent me my $250, right? I called the kid with the diamond. I know I got at least $1,000 coming. You got to buy stuff. I'm a kid in a can, lost in this world. And I call this fucking guy, Billy. He's like, you didn't rat on me, did you? No, I didn't rat. What the fuck you talking about? I said, send me my cut. What's he do? He gives my sister $50. This motherfucker gave. After all I've been through, you're going to rob me. I don't among thieves, like you said earlier. All right, so I forgot about it. 3 years later, he came to the can. Now, when I was a kid, I looked up to this guy. I thought he was like a tough guy. He sold drugs. But I'm now hot and con. This kid's like a little fucking broad to me now. Excuse the line. Like, so I already stabbed the guy, went to high security. I'm a fucking psycho. And Max was, something comes over you when you're in these prisons, right? When you're in the middle of it. I'm 19 now. He comes in. You're not mad at me. He's like a little kid to me. It's weird. Send me some money. Send me a few dollars. I could not let it go. Here it is 3 years later. He kept asking me for volumes. I got some volumes for you. I'll see you at lunch. He had to come out a certain way. Now, you don't want to get seen. Back then, you could stab a guy and get away with it. All right? So I'm trying to get away with it. I'm going to get this guy. And I had a piece of toilet paper with nothing in it. That's all. Yeah. Don't open it yet. He goes, how many's in there? 5 or 6. I'm going. I'm looking around. It was a perfect time. And as soon as he's like, right in the fucking neck, I got the guy, right? We used to make these weapons. It's weird. Those razors that are like utility razors. Guys, you always had these crafty guys. They'd make a weapon on. They'd take 2 pieces of wood. They would run a screw through. I don't know how the guy did it. And the razor would come out of the wood sideways. You could stab a guy and cut him with it. I ended up ripping him here and ripping through his jaw, right? And I did some damage to him, right? I didn't really know what I was doing. Just hit him in the neck and I ripped it up, right? And then nothing happened at first. Like a rabbit, he jumped up on this little wall and then all of a sudden it opened. Like a fucking... He took off. I'll never forget. I don't know why I say this. It ain't funny, but if you've ever seen the end of Fred Flintstone, he's trying to get in the fucking house. And both feet and both hands are hitting the fucking door on Fred. It reminded me of that. I don't know why that came to me. He's like, let me. What the fuck, right? I hate to laugh at it. I don't think it's a funny matter, but I put humor to everything. So anyway, they charged me. They told me that night, I got a murder charge. They said, you severed his artery. I didn't know what artery. No, they told me he died, right? I'm like, what the fuck? No, believe this or not. I'm such a fucked up kid at the time. Yeah, I'm a little worried about a murder, but I'm a kid with a body in a can, motherfuckers. It's a weird thing, man, becoming that guy, right? It's fucking, I'm so far removed from that now, I can't believe it. I didn't even give a fuck. Because I was so fucked up and so lost, I had nobody. I was robbing guys in a can to survive. I just didn't give a fuck, right? There was some concern, but anyway, they were trying to get me to rat. We know you didn't do it alone. Fuck you. I go to high security. I'm in this fucking cell. They got a regular cell block. Then they got one behind the hospital where they really isolated. You can't see nobody or nothing. There's no window or nothing. It's against the law. They actually had to put a fucking skylight in. That's like the back room, they call it. There's like 4 cells. They just want to isolate you from everybody. It might as well be in fucking Russia. You know what's going on in the world, right? All I know is I got a fucking body. I'm thinking of walking back and forth. Me and my thoughts. They can't even shut the light off. They keep the light on 24/7. Fuck your eyes up. It was a fucking mess, right? That night they came to read me what they call a booking or a ticket in some prisons, they call it. Fucking guy was alive. Fucking assholes. Told me he died. Right? I thought I had a fucking body, right? I was half worried. What I think now that I wasn't even that concerned. Like, I don't know. I was embraced. I know people like that. I know guys that killed guys in prison and they didn't care. They cared more about how it came out. The respect part. It's so fucking stupid, ain't it? But that was my first real problem in prison. And all on revenge. I couldn't let things go. And it was so nuts back then when I went to parole a couple years later. So we see you have a stabbing on her. What happened? I swear to God, I said, listen, I was 16, you put me in the den of lions. And I said, nope, fair enough. You can't do that now, but prisons were so out of control back then. It was almost understandable how our kids who doesn't understand that? I mean, you're either going to survive by violence. I mean, there was other times I had other issues. I had to make moves. I didn't want to go ramble on about every little incident. But of course, I had a lot of incidents. I was fucking 16. And eventually, I wasn't with my brother really the whole time on that bit. I did 5 years until I was 21. And in that time, I got tight with some OC guys, some wise guys. And so when I got out, that's the element I was around. There was a crew of us kids who were loyal to that one guy, as I told you about earlier. Now, we were just street kids. He's a made guy. He had like a private army of kids. That's how he was smart like that. And then he had his own people. But he utilized us when he had to. And I impressed him. He always took care of me, free lawyers. Of course, you're a kid. You think you're a big shot. You go to restaurants. Go right away. I got my girl with me. Fucking all psyched up off that false bullshit, right? But at the time, it was working. And so I try to think if that's... Well, I ended up going back to prison. I ended up shooting the guy in front of my sister's house. He's related to my sister's boyfriend, who had kids with my sister. I think he was smoking crack in the house or something. You got to get the fuck out of here. Fuck you. I beat him up first. Shot him in the stomach. He didn't rat on me. I thought he was dead, right? He's screaming and hollering in the street, bloody murder. I thought, this fucking guy's dead. I was stupid, just temper, right? I was a trigger-happy retard, I like to say. I hate to use that word, but that's how I was when I got out of the can. All that violence and anger and just transferred it right to the street. I'm trying to impress the mob guys, and I was doing a good job at that through my behavior. Anyway, the kid, he's 5, no problem. I said, don't ever come around here again. A month later, I show up with my friend. There he is. This fucking kid don't listen. Boom, boom, boom. Somebody shoots him again. He got shot. Someone shot at him on 57th. Somehow through the door, he only got hit in the leg, right? This time, he still didn't say that. It was the weirdest thing. It wasn't really bothering me over that, right? It's just some Spanish. That's how I looked at it. Just some Spanish kid. They don't care. Cops are real racist back then. They didn't give a fuck about that kid. So one day, months later, now they're investigating me for another shooting at a witness or something. I forget what it was. Now the heat's on because they're regular people. I was out of control. That's all I can say. My friend was in the can, had a problem with witnesses. Somebody intimidated the witnesses with gunfire, blah, blah, blah. But now the cops are around me. What do? They go, they can't do nothing about that. So now they want to grab me for the other shooting of the Spanish kid months earlier. So I get into a car accident one day on my street. I didn't do it. The lady was wrong, and the kids come out there they jump me. I go through all this bullshit. The cops show up, blah, blah, blah. Everything, cops leave, everything. I'm about half hour later. So a little while later, my sister's like, she wants to go get her son. The father's, I'm going somewhere with this. The father of kids in the project somewhere. She don't want a kid in there. All right, let's go get him. Keep in mind, he's the kid I was in charge of shooting. Is the brother of this guy. I go to his house. They're all over there talking Spanish. I got a pistol on me. I said, keep it up. I'll finish the job right now, right? I'm nice and calm with that fucking shit. I'm better off when I'm shooting somebody. I got more anxiety in a line. If I'm walking in line somewhere, that's how I was then. So anyway, basically it was a threat there. They called the cops. By the time I get home, right, detectives realize, I guess, they can get this shooting to take me off the street while they're investigating the other shooting, if you get what I'm saying, if you follow me. I mean, you top story, I know. So anyway, I go home. So they surround the house, right? And they say, Dean, we want to talk to you. Because remember, I had an accident a little while earlier. He said, well, your license, we're going to check your license about the shooting. And I got the pistol on me, hiding everything. My license. Maybe it's nothing. But I should have known because they were all around the house. They come in, don't move, right? I'm like, what the fuck? As they tricked me saying they want something to do with my license. But when I went to that kid's house and triggered that, somebody called the cops. They must have decided, okay, grab them on that while I investigate the other thing. Long story short, I'm charged with shooting this guy, go back to prison. I'm doing a 10-year sentence when I had 5 in. I got 2.5 more to go to flatten because there they got good time.
How old are you?
Excuse me. At that time,
How old were you at that time? When you
I was 20. I was 22. I got out when I was 21. And went back when I was 22. I might have still been 22. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I would have still been 21. I was 22. They're only out 6 months when this happened. I got out when I was 21. 6 months later, this is happening. Yeah, I was 22. I go back to prison, right? And by the way, I sold H prison for years, all kind of drugs. That was one of my notorious for selling H. Guys were dying, all kind of shit. I got back, I got right into the game. But eventually I beat the shooting. All right. I got another story for you. So I'm gonna go back in front of the pro board to get out again because I beat the shooting. In the meantime, I sold some drugs to this kid. Right. And usually you don't even sell to a different race, you stick with your own, blah, blah, blah. This black kid was a friend of mine, so he ends up giving it to this kid 5%, if you've ever heard of them. So we had a 5% problem there at the time. There was a crew of guys, which I ended up respecting and liking some. I got along with them, because you do hard time with them, high security, you really know a man, But before all of that, there was a crew that came down from New York. They took over a place called Hartford Projects, right? Threw all the drugs. They had machine guns. These guys were serious, right? And they took over the local drug trade. They took a pinch. They're in the can. Now they want to take over the fucking drug trade in the can. That's my racket. Get the fuck out of here, right? Here this little kid. Who's this fucking kid? We were all small, my crew, a bunch of little guys. At first looked, you were like, these fucking guys. Yeah, I want to see us in action. We look a lot different with a fucking knife in our hand. We were fucking animals. We could attack like a bunch of fucking piranhas, right? Me, my brother, few other guys. We had a crew, and then we had extended guys that would back us up. So we were very strong. They didn't know that, though. So you got these hardened black dudes. They're black nationalists. They're 5%ers. If you don't know anything about them, that's basically what they are. They're black nationalists. They have certain beliefs. They were eating with the Muslims, whatever, during Ramadan. But anyway, so now I come out of my fucking so I go to breakfast. The guy's like, I didn't want no interaction with these guys. But there was this ongoing, it was escalating. We knew something was going to happen because they're fucking with our customers. They don't want to let me. So you could just tell, I can't remember exactly, there's going to be a fucking problem with these guys eventually. They're trying to bully the fucking prison because they got a crew. And they think we're fucking soft. So I come out, this fucking guy's like, I want my fucking money back for the fucking wear fucking shit. No fuck. Hey, fuck, that's disrespectful. Everyone's looking. I said, try to see outside. I came out, the crew's standing there, I got the old posh on. Back then, we had military coats in there at the National Guard left. So it's this prison in the old days. And I let loose. I'm so fucking mad. I'm by myself, too, and don't even know what's going on. And I ran a racial slur, which I'll say, I don't mean to offend anybody now, but if we're going to be truthful how I said it, so you know what? I'm sick of you, fuck. Yeah, you want a fucking problem, let's fucking do it right now. Excuse my language. This is not my belief system now. But you had to talk like that. Once you said that, that's in. It's all on. And these guys are all about their whole belief system. Like belief system probably revolves around that type of shit, how they got to respond to it, whatever. I got so mad. There was so many incidences happen. And now this guy says, this is my fucking money. Oh, yeah, you motherfucker. Maybe on the blind side. We had a blind side. That means the towers couldn't see. We had a bunch of them. Because we had a tower like 200 feet high, like a fucking forest one. We had little ones on the wall. But there's one way up, you could look down. But we had a blind side where they couldn't see. So when you were going called today, it was like being called out. I had a knife. I was a little guy. This kid was a big kid. But I just didn't care. I always try to tell people it's not a tough guy thing. I don't think I'm a tough guy. I think psychologically, I arrived at a place where I didn't care about dying. It's like dealing with a fucking terrorist. What are you going to do to this guy? You don't give a fuck. I swear to God, that's where I was. I never looked at it like I was a tough guy. I'm a bad. Real dangerous guys don't act like that. They don't feel that way. They just can go, you flip a switch in them, and now they're in this place, and now you got to deal with that fucking guy. I look a lot different with a knife in my hand, I always tell. Most of the time I meet guys, they always, but this is going to be a lot bigger. Oh. Anyway, go on with the fucking story. He doesn't go to the blind side. Now his whole crew's offended. He, in his mind, when I had the balls to say that in front of him, I must be something wrong with me in their mind, right? This kid's going to be, and I had a reputation for making moves. So I put him out there. Now this kid ain't built like that, right? Anyway, I go for parole the next day. Parole granted. I'm waiting in my cell to just get the card. And I went to sleep on the job, man.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. Whether you're having trouble falling asleep, you're waking up sweating in the middle of the night, or all of the above, that's where Ghost Bed can help. As the makers of the coolest beds in the world, Ghost Bed is your go-to for cooling mattresses, cooling pillows, and cooling bedding. From their signature Ghost Ice fabric to patented technology that adjusts to your body's temperature, every Ghost Bed mattress is designed with cooling in mind. So whether you want a plusher mattress that cushions your shoulders and hips, or a firm option with exceptional support, your Ghost Bed will keep you cool and comfortable all night long. When you purchase a Ghost Bed mattress, your comfort is guaranteed. You can try out your mattress for 101 nights, risk-free, to make sure it's the right fit for you. Plus, they offer free shipping, and most items are shipped within 24 hours. If you're not sure which Ghost Bed is right for you, check out their mattress quiz. You'll answer a few questions and get a personalized recommendation. Even better, our listeners can get 50% off site-wide for a limited time. Just visit ghostbed.com/Cox and use the code COX at checkout. Again, that's ghostbed.com/Cox with the code COX at the checkout to save a whopping 50% off site-wide.
We got the normal feeding where everybody comes out together, but then it was Ramadan. That means the Muslims come out early. And they eat first, sundown, whatever. Fucking went to sleep on the wheel. They let these guys come out with the Muslims in Ramadan. They're out of their cell. I nodded off. Shouldn't have did that. I would have been up at my own regular child time, but I wasn't prepared for that. I forgot. I went to sleep on that. And when they came, we had a rookie. Everything with the stars were lined up just right for this kid. The rookie was working a block. So usually you run a tear. The guys at the end with controls, he can look. And you say your son number 19, 21, and he hits him, right? He didn't yell. There's no guy next to me used to hold all my drugs and stuff. I'd give him I pay him to hold everything, and the next day I get all my stuff back. So they always raided my cell. The old guy said, yeah, they were out there wishing they didn't know who was going to do it. So the kid puts on a fucking mask. Instead of yelling my cell number, which was 10, he went like this. He held up 10. You understand? And so the rookie just looks and hits the door. This kid's on me with the fucking ice pick. Boom, boom, boom. I'm blocking a couple. I get hit in the neck. 5 times I get hit. A couple here, blocking, hit in the neck. And 2 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What the fuck? Yeah. And, no, this story's ridiculous. But anyway, so I get my foot between us. I push him. He screws. I said, you fucking coward. You got the knife. Blah, blah, blah. I was talking shit to the end, right? I didn't feel hurt, right? Right. So I was like, fuck this. I'm going to get him. My friend shows up. But I bent over to change my clothes, right? Because I blood. Bunch of blood. I'm like, what the fuck is that, right? And I'm in my end. My friend shows me, no, fuck that. You're dying, man. You're fucking dying. All right, let's go. So I go to the hospital in my underwear. The joint was so nuts. With a towel on my fucking neck, bleeding all over the place. In my underwear, walking by, not a fucking screw seeing it, right? It's weird. Ring the bell. The doctor's at the gate. The nurse want to let me in. He's all nervous. Open the fucking gate, guy. I'm fucking dying over here. I go in there. So I kept throwing up blood, right? Nah. So I'm on the ambulance and it dawned on me. I used to have this big gold necklace and a chain. Right? Then I realized I'm in the shackle. I'm like, where's my fucking necklace? I'm thinking this guy robbed me. And no worst thing in a joint than being robbed. That's like an insult to injury. Where's my chain? I got the mask. My chain. The cops, what are you doing? Fucking chain. So I'm going on and on. What the fuck? I go to the hospital. First of all, state police show up. They got back then like a little tape recorder, a little fucking something. I forget. Dean, you're looking really bad. Blah, blood everywhere. You're looking really bad. You want this guy get away with killing you? Yeah, we want me to die, you fucking rat. Blah blah blah. You know, the young man, tough guy act like it's not an act because I was serious about it, but I'm playing my role perfectly. Fuck you, I ain't dying a rat. By the way, where's my fucking chain? Check the ambulance. I'm so mad about my chain, right? Going on and on. This doctor shows up. He hears me rambling. He goes, hold on. Dr. Haas, I'll never forget this guy's name. I can't call hospital. He's like, what's the problem? I said, I need my fucking chain. Did I get robbed from my... He goes, Jesus Christ. He reaches around my neck. And he pulls it around. It was hanging down the back of my neck. He goes, what is wrong with you, kid? You're dying over here, maybe, right? I said, all right. And, you can't get robbed in a joint like that. That's like a bad thing. I'd rather get stabbed for something else than you stealing from me and me not doing nothing about it. And so next thing happens, he wants to do a catheter because I'm going to have to do exploratory surgery, all this blood. No catheter, no fucking way. I'm scared of that thing. And it's like, well, wait a minute, because I'm going to try something else, but I might have to do it. Something was on his mind. I couldn't figure it out. He explained it later. He put some liquid in me. First, he made me throw up the stuff was in my stomach. Then he put a bunch of liquid in me. And then he could look at the x-rays. If anything, vital organs are punctured, it glows on the screen. All right? And nothing was glowing. But I kept throwing up. I felt all right? And he goes, wait a minute. You get punched in the nose or something? And when I blocked a couple of stabbings, what happened was I was drinking my own blood from the punched nose, and it was looking like it was coming from an organ. He could tell by the color of the blood, whether it was too light or too dark, or whatever, that it wasn't coming from the organ, which let him do that. Because you're all right. I just hit that guy. I just missed me. I got lucky. So after all that, it was all in the news. It sounded like I was butchered. I woke up. I got a fucking Band-Aids on. But I did get hit, I just got lucky. And that was that. 5 years later on a different bit, I caught that kid on a van and punched his fucking lights out, but he got me. Yeah, that was my story of the fight. But so I ended up, the biggest thing in this story is, all right, so they tell me, you made parole anyway, Dean, you're going home Monday. All right, at least that's happening, right? Because I beat the charge. Monday comes, they put shackles on me and bring me to high security. Went back to the board. They took my fucking parole for being stabbed. I could not believe it. You want to talk about a time in my life when something fucking changed for the worse? Was when they did that. You took my parole. So they said, listen, they took me back to the board. Said, we know it was over drugs. You would have got him first if he didn't get you, blah, blah, blah. You're going to flatten your bid. So I did another 2.5 with a lot of anger, right? I couldn't believe that. They really took my parole. And I got out 2.5 years later. By that time, I graduated to robbing banks. I hooked up with a friend. 30 days later, I was back for an armed bank robbery. Fucking shame. But a lot of people ask me about these banks. Why aren't you in the feds? Well, I don't go to the feds because, first of all, the circumstantial evidence is very weak. The feds won't try unless they have you. And in this state, but the problem here is we have 32F, if you ever heard of it. Well, like the only state that does is where they violate your probation very fast if they think you got anything to do with it. I had 20 years suspended. So what they do is they come at you. We're going to hit you with your probation, and then they're going to go to the feds. Or do you take a deal, wrap it all up, and stay in the state? And the feds are happy if you catch enough time. If they had me, they just took me right away and grabbed me. So that happened to me a couple of times. I wanted to explain that because people keep asking me why I wasn't in the feds. I'm not in the feds because there's other crimes that happen in the state where it's enough for the state to wrap me up. Because I'd rather do fed time, but the reason why I'd rather not, because there's no parole or nothing. The state, all right, I was just doing 30 years. I got out in 18. What do you think would happen if I was doing 30 years in the feds, right? So
you're doing almost 30 years, and you probably a good time.
Exactly.
So what did happen? Sorry, what did happen with the bank robberies? Like, how did you end up robbing those?
All right, okay. I had a friend of mine who was robbing banks already. He was in a minimum security on some violation time, and he found out he was about to get indicted for bank robbery. He screwed for minimum security. Before I got out, I received a postcard from him. He was saying a friend of his and ours was in the feds before. He got tight with some little crazy guys out in New York. He was running some type of house with women with lingerie or something. I don't know, some fighter. And my friend was going down there hanging around him, but they were planning scores, and they wanted me to. I was a good car thief, a driver, and shit. I was still a kid, right? So he said, when you get out, we're going to come down. Sure enough, I get out. They come down. This is an interesting story in itself. So my friend, I was only out a couple of weeks. And so we hit this bank in Warwick, right? I grabbed like $7,000 in my end. But $7,000, 25 years ago, just getting out of the can, I could buy a car, shit like that. We didn't get a lot of money out of it. I grabbed like $25,000, right? But a lot of people, the idea was to grab money because we had an armored car and planned. I forgot to leave that because they had a girl who was messing with. I'm all over the place, but try to stay with me. We had this girl who was messing with this armored car guy. She was messing with him, and he'd go to the bathroom. She'd take pictures of the trip tickets. Trip tickets are where his drop-offs are, stuff like that, and the addresses. And so you look for the best location to whack the armored car. But you need money to operate. So we hit the bank. All right, let's put this score together. Now, these guys were at a certain level where they could do that, I guess, right? What I didn't know, fucking unbelievable. So the guy's name was Darryl, the one from New York. He's from Rhode Island, but he's in New York. These guys, there's another crew in Rhode Island operating. They were doing home invasions like in mansions and stuff. They would take pictures of the stuff. This is the old days, keep in mind. They take pictures of the stuff, send it to Darryl, and he'd show it to try to sell it, right? To the, what do you call it? The guys out there in New York. So, there you go. So he got caught. He got grabbed because somebody died in a mansion down here. So everybody's all over it. He gets grabbed. and he started ratting. And nobody knew this guy was fucking ratting. He ends up robbing another car with another guy. We're going to rob the same people again because we had the trip tickets. Comes down here, robs a bank with me. He had another guy, gave another guy a ride to rob him, to commit an arson and rob money. He had all these crimes. The guy grabbed the money bag. Basically, he got all these crimes in his head. And one day, he gets grabbed, and he just let him have it all. Me, he grabbed a bunch of us. Here he was, almost like an informant running around committing crimes. I don't know if he was an informant or he just ratted in that case, and then he started committing more crime. And he probably figured I can wheel and deal my way. And sure enough, he did. He only got 5 years. The rest of us all got big time. What happened to me is, so he offered me 25. I'm just a kid. I'm like 24 now, right? Fuck it. So I got my friends, my friends on the other side got me a free lawyer. They helped me out. They got me Jack Cicilline. Jack got it down to 12 to serve. Here, this is the biggest state that takes deals. We wheel and deal. You don't rat on nobody. You don't hurt nobody. But they force you to take a deal because you're facing so much time when you're suspended. No other state does it like that. It's fucked up. The feds didn't really have shit on the bank, right? And if you catch enough time in the state, they'll leave you alone. Anyway, so while the bank robbery's pending and Jack's working on it, I got another story for you. Okay, I told you how wild the prison was. So in 1991, they got this troubleshooter guy, like a director, prison director. He went to Walpole, Massachusetts, and turned that around. Then they hired him to come down here. He's like a troubleshooter. Turn this joint around, will you? He comes down. He sees how wide open the street closed, blah, blah. He's taking all this shit away. And the only way to do it is to cause a disturbance. Sure enough, they were taking stuff little by little. Then they had this one rule that was new. If you get a dirty urine in prison, you'll lose your visitation rights for so much time. And then each time you're there, it gets worse and worse. And that's what triggered it off. This guy come out on the discipline board one day, goes, these motherfuckers, because the guy kept taking little things. He knew what he was doing. He took all the street clothes, this, that. Guys had fucking little ovens in their cell. It was fucking nuts. He took all that shit, right? And he knew what he was doing. And this one thing took it off. The guy comes out and he tells the guy, they took my fucking visit. What? Fuck this. Everybody went fucking nuts. They got news footage of it and everything. And so he started tearing the joint apart. They got news footage of them. Here comes the guys. 200 of them not marching in the yard, banging the fucking stick, right? I love this footage. And they come in, they try to intimidate all the guys in the yard. These guys, they're fucking shooting tear gas. You see cons running around with a mask on. They fired a tear gas at the con, picked up his... He fucking threw up. It's fucking great footage, right? And so they come in, and they're only saying, oh, get the fuck out of here. I try to ran them the fuck out of there. Now, and that's footage of it. So anyone wants to fucking deny that, I'll find that footage, right? Threw those fucking screws right out of there, right? And they were pissed. So as always, every time we did that, they have to call the state police. State police come in, they line the wall. They're going to fucking blow your head off. They ain't fucking around. They put him in. When they finally got everybody in their cell, the guy was a masterful what he did. Anybody, I was on the street at the time. This was before I came in from the bank. Anyone that had influence, he shipped them all over the country. Federal prison, state prisons, all the way to fucking Illinois, to fucking Juliet, whatever, Statesville. I had friends I knew that were in all different prisons. And then he started letting in the weak element. The guys with bad charges, stuff like that. And then if a guy like me comes back and don't like it, well, too bad. We're going to fucking, you'd rot in high security until you adjust or you'll get shipped out of state. So I come back in the middle of what they call taking the prison back. The guy was a genius. So what he did is he hired a bunch of young kids on steroids. They don't fear us. They don't know us. They don't know I can cut your fucking head off. They don't care. They were just jumping in, and they look around. There's a crew of screws walking around. The joint's locked down, mind you. And they're walking around. Him, too. He was one of them. Come in your cell, break you up, take you out of there, right? So it was really bad. We're at war with them this was from 91 to 93. There was a bunch of smaller eruptions. Guys were hitting seals with fucking fire extinguishers. It was going on and on it went, breaking it. And they were fucking us up. It was so bad they arrested a few COs for assault, and they were catching bids. It was fucking out of control. All over the fucking place. SEALs getting arrested for trafficking in and I tell you that for a reason, because one of them was a friend of mine. He got arrested for selling heroin, but before he got arrested for selling prison, one day, I'm in the hole for trafficking. I was in the hole for a few months. Now I come out, it's a whole new prison. The old days are gone, and I need to adjust fast. But while I'm down in Seg, guys are coming down all broken up. Guys are making threats. When I get out, I'm fucking one of them. A guy would get out, bing, bing, cold blue. He would fuck somebody up and come back. It was fucking crazy, man. It was like living in a fucking Siberia. So it was crazy, right? But I embraced it. I have a way of embracing insanity. That I can embrace really well. So I have a brother in maximum security at the time. He's a little older than me. My mouth is dry. So I come on a seg. They got what they call a quay system. If you're a dangerous felon in prison, you go to this cell block. So I go to that cell block. I'm on the third tier. I don't know where anybody is, nothing. But my brother asked one CO. He even used the word CO now, but we'll use it because everybody understands that. My brother asked one CO, can I go see my brother? Yeah, sure, I'll go see him from. Just be quick. This other steroid head motherfucker comes around the fucking, what the fuck are you doing up there? Don't I give you permission? My brother said, fuck you. What are you talking about? That's on. Here we go. Just get out of the hole. My stuff's still in the bag. My brother goes on the stairs. They're fucking like arguing, right? And they got this fucking thing of one, while you're arguing, the other one gets behind you. He fucking sucker shot you and fucking pushed the code. They were fucked up dudes, man. These fucking motherfuckers they let in there. So I'm on the third tier. I'm looking at this prick trying to fucking hit my brother from behind. No, you don't, you motherfucker. Now, I'm not a big guy. I'm somewhat strong. But it's different when you've been in the hole doing push-ups and you're fucking living on fucking anger and insanity. Now you got a fucking strength of a fucking bull. I ran down that third tier and caught him just right. Wow. This big motherfucker. He's a big steroid head. He's fucking stumbled. What's that for? Just running your fucking mouth. Now, at the time, I'm no karate guy, but I always had a couple of kicks I can throw. I threw a spinning back kick. Oh, my God. It landed the best. I couldn't do it again if I wanted to. I only did it twice in life where it landed just right, and that was where I caught this prick right here. Now he's fucking nervous. Like, he couldn't believe he was shocked that somebody would hit him, this big steroid head, right? My friend happened to be standing there because he was cleaning his cell with a fucking, give me that fucking, I broke the stick. Here they come. This guy takes off. The squad comes. I couldn't believe I had these motherfuckers intimidated with a broken stick. At the end of the day, guys that are bullies are always fucking cowards. We know that. If you're a bully, you're a coward. And I'll fucking reveal it. You might be tough with your hands, but I will fucking take your life, and that's what you're afraid of. And that's what they were afraid of. Come on, you motherfuckers, I'm ready to die today. I lost my mind. I can't make this story up. Dean, this is the first time I've seen him do this, because usually they want to cuff you right there. Just go back to your cell, calm, because I was riling everybody up that was out, right? At least I thought I was. Go back to your cell, calm down. But I'll tell you what, I stopped him from hitting my brother. I'll tell you that. So I said, all right, we're not going to jump you. If you jump me, I don't care how long it takes. I was talking shit. I had the stage. I got the stick. I got the stage. I'm running my mouth. They put me in the cell. Now, you got this thing. This is old cell block from the 1800s. You have to pull this bar that locks up top, and then you have to key lock each cell. All of it like that, but this part of the prison is like that. It's from the 1800s. So I'm waiting for the slide bar to shut and lock. And I hear the guy on the other side. I'm going to rip his fucking head off. They're coming to get me. I said, motherfucker. But look at the bar. It's not being shut. I leave him open to come get me. What's going on, right? I'm like fucking Rainbow at this fucking point. So I got nothing. I just got out of the hole. I got nothing, but I have a belt. Back then we had belts. I took a belt, put a lock on it, and grabbed a pen and kicked my door open. I swear that this is on my fucking daughter's eyes. I did this, right? Not that it's this big, great accomplishment, but I'm trying to show you how far I lost my... I kicked the door. I said, come on, you motherfuckers. I'm out of my fucking cell. Now, only my tier's open. I'm running down a tier. Hey, I need something. All these fucking cowards. The prison was never like this. Usually they would all come out. Come on, Dean, let's get them. Oh, I don't want to trouble. They had let all these fucking weasels in, and they knew what they were doing when they did it. It was working this day. I said, you fucking coward. Now I'm yelling at them to you coward motherfuckers. I want to help. They were all, these are the guys that intimidated. What is the difference? You notice the difference between a convict and an inmate. I was in there with a bunch of inmates. A con will stand on principle and stand up when he has to. An inmate just goes along with the fucking program. I don't want no trouble. Shut the fuck up, right? So they left me hanging. Now I'm figuring they're going to come. I can use the fire escape, crack one, go back up. I had all this fucking shit in mind, right? And so they got quiet. I said, that's right, I'm out. Let's go, you fucking. So, all right, it gets quiet, right? Up the stairs is the guard who's supposed to shut that gate. He's my friend. The one that got arrested for that trafficking. H. Very soon after this, he got arrested and was in the same fucking prison. But he says, Dean, please, I'm going to lose my job. I was supposed to lock the door. Please, you're not going to get jumped, I promise. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so he put me in a cell. All right, Ray, I'll go in. I believe you. So I'm in my cell for an hour or two. You can see the news media. So try to keep in mind, I just told you earlier, there's a lot of assaultive behavior going on back and forth. It got so bad, the feds are now involved. What the fuck's going on down here in the ACI? Why are all these SEALs getting arrested for assault? What the fuck? So now everybody's involved. And a couple of days before my assault, this kid assaulted a guard in a medium security. They brought him to maximum security and beat him almost to death. So the heat was on them. So I was the first guy. I got to laugh at this because I'm supposed to get a fucking beating, right? So they started cell extractions with a camcorder back then. They had to open your cell with a camcorder, and so I'm the first guy. I don't know nothing about this, right? What's going on? So they got to record me from the one cell, no matter what building they're bringing me to. They got to all the way to the next building until I get in that cell safely. So anyway, I come out of my cell in cuffs. I figure, let me just punch my fucking jaw. So if you break my jaw, right? I walk into a gauntlet of cops, some state police investigators. They're all fucking. I'm like, oh fuck, when am I gonna get this beaten, right? I go in the room. I take the cuffs and say, all right, Dean, strip. I'm like, what the fuck? He was like, all right. You all right? Any bruises on you? What the fuck is this? So now there's so much heat on him. They wanted to see if I was fucked up. It was fucking crazy. I'm like the first guy part of this. I don't want to call it a new program, but it was because of the heat they had. And so all this time, there were camcorders on me. They didn't have any room in high security. I remember they had to bring me to medium security. They put me in that segregation until I had a cell open. But all the way to the medium, they took me, my brother, they put in another building. And a friend of mine who didn't do nothing wrong but got charged. Anyway, I got charged with assault and a CO, I guess is what I was trying to get to. Keep in mind the bank robbery was pending. So there's a reason why I tell you the story is because they offered me to fucking. So now I'm off. I'm fucked. There's a 25-year deal, 12 to serve, right? But then I picked up the assault. So I go to court to take the deal, and the prosecutor's like, you know, they just picked up an assault at the prison, blah, blah, blah. So they end up giving me, it was 2 years to the day almost when I went to take the 12 years. They said, all right, we'll give you another 10 years, 2 to serve running in. But you're not going to get retroactive time. So it's basically, I ended up doing 2 years before I even started my 12-year bid. So really I was doing a 14-year bid. Does that make sense what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah.
I'm trying to say it, but you understand.
Yeah, you got an extra 2 for the assault. That's
right.
The way
10 years, 2 to serve. Right. Now, even though it was concurrent, they started it that day. So I did 2 years for nothing. I really did 14. So I ended up doing 10 years on a 12-year sentence to make my. And when I got out, I was worse than ever. If you want to continue with that story, the fuck, it goes on and on. I mean, keep in mind, I was good back. Excuse me?
How old were you when you got out the second time? Or on the
35 years old. I got out in 2001. I was released to a program, right? We don't have halfway houses down there, at least until like a Salvation Army. I was broke. The wise guys were drying up. There's none of that shit around. I was running around with a half-fast crew. They didn't have nothing going on. This is the time when guys would throw you a couple $100. Hey, kid. Hey, fuck you with that fucking insult, right? In my mind, I thought I deserved more. Whether I did or not, it's not neither here nor there. My mindset was, that somebody going to give me $5,000 or something? What the fuck? I put some work in. Nothing. But that's how it goes. Nobody gives a fuck what you did. Nobody's coming up off their money. You got to go get your own. That's all there is to it. And so I'm in the program. I knew before I got out I was going to fucking do a score. I'm going to have to do a score to get on my feet. I'm planning crimes in the camp before I get out. That's how fucked up I was. I didn't work. Fuck work, right? They utilize it as a halfway house, but it's not a real halfway house. So I needed some money. I wanted to put some money together quick. I ran it to a friend of mine who was equally desperate. He wasn't in the program, but there was a crew of us that used to do banks together. Sometimes we'd interact. I'd do it with him. He'd do it with him after or something like that. He was part of that little crew we had. Most of them were in prison now. A couple were dead. Things were changing, right? But so I kind of did this. First of all, when I arrived at the program, I'll never forget this. Keep in mind, the whole time I'm in prison, still interacting with, wise guys and stuff, right? There was this one guy that took care of me the whole time. It's actually my girlfriend now's dad, who's passed away. But for her, I just leave his name out of it. But anyone locally knows him. I mean, he was a made guy, and his captain was the guy from the can. I was like an uncle to me. I don't want to say dad, for everybody uses that, but I was close to him. Me and my brother did a lot of time. We're close to this guy. And one of my other brothers, there's a lot of stuff I left out. I had another brother who wasn't a hardened criminal. I'll get right back to where I was, but you need to hear this part. I did a video on it recently. I have another brother who's between me in ages and my other brother. I have my brother Lauren, my brother Chris. We're the 3 criminals in the family that was in trouble. My brother Lauren wasn't a hardened criminal, but he got himself in trouble. He's ended up in a lower security. He had balls. He got in a fight. He ended up in maximum security. Now he felt probably this urge to live up to the name. He gets into a thing. He hits this fucking guy in the head with a weight. But the guy tells him to be an expert, martial arts expert. He ripped my brother's eye out of his head. Ripped it right out of his head. Got him down, pulled his eye out of his head, maximum security. So this is the shit that's happened to my family's taking hits too the whole way, right? And the whole time I'm in prison, which I also need to say, my only constant had a couple of girlfriends that stuck around with it, was like my sister and my other brother, Brian. They were like always in our corner. They couldn't always be up there, but either they took turns. Either way, we always had them. They always relied on them. My sister would always send money to my brother, Brian. So I always had them. But anyway, so now I get released. My sister comes to bring me something, clothes, whatever it is. As I open the gate to let my sister in, I was only in the program a day, and here comes this thing, this SUV. My sister said, that looks like a cop. I said, you know what? Actually, a Fed. I was. Turns out later it was. Right away, they were on me. Nothing to do with my history. It was more to do with the history of the people I was communicating with. You know, you got a young kid coming out hungry who's messing with the wise guys. They know you're the guy that's going to make the fucking move, not them. You're the hungry guy. You're the fucking animal they're going to send. So they were on me right away, right? So I had that in mind. So now I'm in the program. I found a way to, I give the guy $20. Let me go do this easy job in the basement. Right? So he thinks I'm in the basement because you got to sign in and out. So I snuck out. You understand? I snuck across the bridge into East Province with my friend. And we used to do what was called takeovers. That means we go in the bank, I would hop over the counter and take all the money out of the bottom drawers. Just so you hear, there's no die packs. No die packs, no alarms, nobody gets hurt. Shut the fuck up and give me the money. So we'd run in, usually get hit like 3 tellers. We'd average around 50 grand, all right? So a bad day, you get 25. 50 grand in 2001 was a lot better than what it is now, right? You don't get rich, but you can get on your feet. So I remember hitting that bank, and there's a woman all old one. First of all, they all get on the floor. I said, everybody get the fuck up. Like, what? Get up. I don't know, fucking cop riding by and don't see nobody, right? And it looks a little more suspicious. They're like, this guy's fucking got it backwards, right? Get the fuck up. Take it easy. I ain't gonna hurt nobody, right? So the funny thing is about that bank. So I wanted to hurry up, go to this next town, because the program sits on the east side of Province. So if you cross this quick bridge, you're in the East Province, another town. So I wanted to cross over and get back real quick and go in the basement. Hey, I'm still here, guys, right? And that's what I did. So the FBI came and they even looked at I never logged out. He was there the whole time working, right? But as I was driving, my friend's in the back with the money on the floor. There's 2 cops where the on-ramp is. It's called I-95, 195. As I'm getting on this short strip of highway to get back there, they're fucking cops. This one I could tell the cops are going by me responding to the bank. You can see them coming from all over, right? Their sirens ain't on, right? I know where they're going. So this one cop is backing up. I was the last car by. This motherfucker blocked the exit, right? I was like, oh my God, I've seen him in a rearview mirror. Like, oh man, that would have been bad. Quickly go over there. I go back, like nothing ever happened. Hide the money up the street. And so somebody had told the cops that they tried to get in that car. They didn't know how we did it. We just appeared into this wooded area is what happened. So they thought the armed robbers were in the streets of East Province. They all running around with machine guns, all this. I'm home counting the money, watching the news. Like, what the fuck are they doing? So it caused a little bit of a racket. Then right away, my parole officer says, hey, Dean, FBI contacted me. They want to talk to you. I said, what, right now? He goes, yeah, I don't know what if they call me back, I'll let you know. I said, all right. I'm like, oh, fuck. Because I'm already going to be, it's so small down here. I just get out of the can. The way you steal the car and all that stuff, the type of car, they're not stupid. They're like, this is an older guy who just got out. Okay, good. This guy, right? So well, I'm right away, but they never called back. I know why now. They wanted to watch me, right? So I had a little bit of heat from messing with the wise guys already. Now there's a bank that happens and they're kind of like, my stupid ass. I'm thinking it's the old days. I'm going to put a crew together because I'm known as a criminal. So anybody that needs something done, whether it be a wise guy, it could be you. Somebody hit your sister. You want this? I had guys for this now. They, Dean, we need to make some money. So this guy needs to be smashed. He didn't pay his bill. Hey, want to make a quick 500? And then later on, maybe he throws me. I don't care. There's a lot of chump change involved. I wasn't doing it, but what I was doing, I didn't mind doing it because I do this guy a favor. Now I can get into the union, let's say. Understand? This guy fucking picked your daughter. Hey, you want to make 500? Fuck him up for that. Hey, I took care of that for you. You understand how it works. Great job doing that. So that's what I was doing, right? Trying to put this crew together. I was way out of date and out of time with this. Some days were over, right? I was in the can a long time. I didn't know that things had deteriorated as much as they did. So I had this one fucking guy. I'm trying to put him on his feet. And I should have known. I gave him like a money bag to rob, a deposit bag. He couldn't do it. was a quick 12 grand to get on his feet, but little things, he just wasn't built for it. And the problem is, I had these two kids that I thought, one was in the military. I thought I could train these military guys. They're both in the military. I figured, okay, perfect guys to train. They already got that discipline. Why I had it so fucking wrong? Like both of them. One I don't think they served in combat. Whatever the fuck they did. They got pictures with machine guns, black stuff on their face, with all this fucking bullshit. Now, I'm not no disrespect to those real guys who serve in combat. I have much respect for them. But I learned about some military guys, I'll never steal one again, because when they get pinched, he's a dirty, rotten criminal. You served your country. You're a good man. Yeah, that's right. He's a criminal. Huh? You motherfuckers. They rat on me every fucking time. Now, I'm not saying all them guys are like that, but these two represent that because they didn't serve in combat. They're not real fuck. But if you don't know any better and you see their pictures with an M16 or whatever the fuck they had back then, you think, these guys are ready to rock and roll. The drop of a hat. Yeah, bullshit, right? Anyway, all these smaller crimes I had picked up on arson. Somebody needed a truck yard burned down. It was an issue with a union. I had to get it done because I made a promise I'd get it done. The guy had wanted to do it. Not capable. I ended up doing it my fucking self with the guy. And I told him, never ask me for work again. But this kid used to drive me around when I first got out. So he seen I was going to all these social clubs. So I was going on to different crews with white guys, but I was still loyal to the one particular guy. But everybody was getting old. It was dying off. I couldn't grab no money from there. Them days are over. I'm on my own now. I got to make some money. Put my own crew together, blah, blah, blah. That was the mindset, right? So they're watching me for the one bank. Try to think of some other stuff that may have happened in between. But anyway, I decided to maximize my profit and rob a bank by myself. So, and my sister would have killed me at the time for this because my nephew passed away, my sister's son, Adam. I was close to this kid. He's like 17. Well, I didn't want to get him involved in the life. But I had used a lot of work leading up to robbing the bank. I had to find a car in a nice place, change the plates, but I needed someone to drive my car while I drove the stolen car. Back to put it. I used to place the stolen car the night before near the bank. So the next day I go up there with another car, use the stolen car, leave that, and take off in the regular car, right? So I got these little walkie-talkies. So my nephew's only a kid, right? I'm like, I feel like an asshole doing it now, but I just trusted him. It was so close. He was like my fucking son. So I sound like an asshole saying it, but he couldn't have gotten no trouble legally, first of all, because they would never find out because I would never give him up. Other people don't understand. Oh, you put him in a position. Well, really, no, I didn't. You can never take a pinch for this. So anyway, he's got my car. I peel up the car and load the car. So I just want him to be in the area. If anything happens, I can get in a high-speed chase and run, and then he can pick me up. I got a walkie-talkie. You follow me?
Yeah.
As soon as I get in the stolen car, I get to this up the street, what's Post Road. There's a cop right there. It's 2 a.m. It's me, the cop, and my fucking nephew. What the fuck? I get on the highway. He's got his fucking lights on. So I tell my nephew, all right, get off at the next exit. I'll meet you over there. Because I knew I could drive all crazy and get off at the next exit and get in another car and screw. All right. So this guy's behind me. I pull over, but he keeps going. Well, what a moment that was. I just got in the car 25 seconds earlier. There's a cop right on me. But he didn't want me. He wanted somebody else. My point is I put my nephew in that position. But he wouldn't have gotten no trouble unless they connected us. So I grabbed the car. I placed it there the night before. The next day, I run in a bank by myself. I've had other co-defendants in other cases who never took a pinch. Me, I ate my crimes, but they didn't eat them with me. But I had somebody drive for me in the legit car. They really got nothing to do with the bank itself. But I have them like a mile away. I jump in the trunk. Sometimes you have to do it differently, right?
Yeah.
So I run in there, 3 tellers. I have the old, I got like 45 grand, right? Fucking one lady's giving me a hard time. Like, Jesus Christ, no, hey, lady, fucking, it's not your money. Fucking, get out of my way. I needed them to open a drawer so I could take it out. It's a pain in the ass if you ain't got the right bag. The bag flops, money falls. It's a real fucking pain. You got the gun. How you going to hold the gun? I had to learn how to shoot a little bit with my left hand so I can use my right hand to grab the money. There's a little bit of tennis. Fucking gun. One time I just, all right, put the gun down, grab all the money. It's fucking retarded, right? I'm cowboying the joint. But, I know I can do it. And I got away with it, right? You would think. So, just to tell you how I fell, I tell you that story. And, a week before, I had planned it with this one kid who kept letting me down. But I met him in prison. We became friends. We went to the program together. So when I hit that bank, the first one, he's seen it all over the news. He goes, I know that's you. That's your work. Please let me get involved. And I kind of liked him. He's quiet. It took me a while to take to him like that. So I said, all right. So I planned this last one I did, the very last bank I did. I planned it with him. I stole a car. I had him drive it, place it at a certain spot. The next day, we're going to go hit the bank. He sees a traffic cop 2 miles away, gets all fucking scared. I said, don't worry about it. At least I know where he's at. I got the fucking police scanner. I know where he's at. Don't worry about it. We're going to be in on 2 minutes. Anyway, he backed out. And I'm like fucking aggravated with this kid. Fuck you. Next week, I did it alone. I needed my nephew to help me with that car. That's it. He helped me place it. That's it. And so I hit the bank like a fucking asshole. I'm buying Cadillacs, blah, 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 right? Now this kid's fucking jealous. Plus, I am helping him. His girl's watching me helping him. I didn't need to learn these things. I didn't know that. His pride is hurt. I'm making him look bad. She's like, he's out of the can doing well. What the fuck? You're a bum. You can't. I don't know. So you know that stuff has an effect. This jealous fucking bastard. He gets pinched doing something stupid. Now, he didn't see me rob the bank. Now, I'm going to explain now why I didn't go to the feds, why people keep fucking asking me. It's a pain in the ass trying to explain that. So, this is called circumstantial evidence. So, I get arrested by the feds. First they were watching. I had this gun. I used to hide it every night in the woods in my house. Oh, all right. I had to leave this out. So, the kid calls me, right? The kid I've been talking about. The one I had planned it with, he didn't want to do it. So he calls me. I said, he's in the intake. He said, well, how are you calling me on this? He goes, my lawyers let me use the phone real fast. I'm like, oh, boy. He goes, the next one, let me get done. I said, you know, I can't go back to the casino. I switched the whole content of the conversation out. Like, this motherfucker's ratting on me, right? So I'm like, no, I can't go to the casino. You know, my little parole was about whatever I said. Calls me back again. Turns out ladies on the FBI's fucking phone calling me this prick. The stupid thing, they let him call on a cell phone. Why would you do that? You're supposed to do the prison call, you fucking dum-dums, right? If they ever did a normal prison call, it might have been a little more trickier, right? He's calling me on a cell phone from the prison, which is so stupid on their part. But anyway, he got out. He wanted me to bail him out, but then he goes, I'm getting out tomorrow anyway, whatever. Meet me. So when he gets out, I'm driving down there. No, this motherfucker's got to go. I'm driving down looking for this guy. I'm creeping through the backyards where he lives, fucking crackhead, shut the fuck up. All kind of shit's going on. And I can't find this prick. I'm driving home, the window down so I can throw the gun. There's nothing worse than driving with a gun at 2 a.m. You know, and you're a felon because you're in big trouble. You should throw that fucking thing, right? I drive home, I'm hiding the gun, third day. I got fucking lazy. And I said, I'll hide it in the morning. I go in my house, I put it in the bed. The next morning, I come out to do the garbage, right? And I see the neighbor talking to a guy. I'm thinking it's his friend. Something's wrong, but it ain't registering. I come out, I dump the garbage, like, good morning. Get in the fucking car. And they fucking smile. All I heard was, don't you move, motherfucker, FBI. This guy must have been from Texas. Dean, I'll blow your goddamn head off. Don't you move, motherfucker. The fuck? I got a cigarette. I'm fucked up. This is not a tough guy thing. Again, it's like, you motherfuckers. I just was fucked up, right? I got a cigarette. Put that cigarette out. Yeah, fuck you. I'm getting ready to die, though. If I try to move that car, I'm a dead man. You know how that goes. I'm not a fucking suicide idiot, but it's just fucking, what the fuck, mother. I'm telling you, move, I'll kill you again. I'm getting yelling all that shit like, fuck you. I said, fuck. Threw the cigarette out, right? Put my hands out, I go out. And they kept saying, he's tricky. Watch him, he's tricky. I guess I got a prison history of being tricky from the way I used to pull kind of moves. That shit goes on your record. You don't even realize it. The reason why I say that, because years later, a cop said it. It says here, you're a tricky bastard, right? Anyway, I get arrested. Now, the weaker guy who I did the arson, I had to do the arson. He's a military kid. He's not the main guy I've been talking about. The kid, John. He used to drive me around. He'd come up to the program before I got a car, he'd drive me around. My brother sent me. Your brother Chris sent me to help you out. I don't want to get down if there's a score. So that's how it happened. And so I gave him the arson. He fucking fumbled that. Anyway, the one kid who knew I was going to play, planned the first bank, that bank with the last one, another military guy. He didn't want to do it because I told you it was a cop of the street. He got pinched for a crime and he called him and says, look, I think I know who robbed that Lincoln Bank. And the reason why he had credibility is because a week before, I had planned it with him and put the car in place. So he knew all these little things about where the car was, where I'm going to jump over the car. So that's a believable thing. That's enough credibility. So then he tells him about the other kid. They surround the other kid. you're bank robbery, you're under arrest. They scared the fuck. They know what they're doing. I didn't rob no bank. I only committed arson, I swear. Oh, Jesus Christ, these guys were folding like crazy. So now, that kid, he knew a little bit about, because sometimes you can see a little bit about what I'm doing, but I'll never let you see me rob the bank. But he knew I stole a car. He knew I scoped that bank out. So it's not enough. It's enough for him to say he definitely robbed the bank, but not to prove it. It's called critical. So he ended up ratting on the first bank. The other guy told him about the second bank. But keep in mind, they don't really have any real evidence. And what happened is this. Somebody told them we were planning. I don't know how the fuck they found this out exactly, but they said it was planning on my car. I think it was somebody I was dating at the time. I don't know what the fuck later. I forgot how they found out. Somebody was fucking, I got to think about that one. They thought they had got word I was going to plan on robbing on my car. And they took me up the streets a little too fast is what happened. Their SAC, they call it, special agent in charge. He's out of Boston. He's like, listen, get that fucking kid off the street. If he robs another car, kills somebody, we're in fucking trouble. That's what I think happened, right? So basically, they took the streets pretty quick. They surround me, grab me, get arrested. I'm charging 2 armed bank robberies. What people don't know is when you hop the counter, every teller I robs another count. So I robbed 3 tellers in one bank and 2 in another. I got 5 counts of robbery. 2 bank. It doesn't look like bank robbery. It looks like just like robbery on paper. So I got 2 bank robberies, an arson, possession of a firearm, and a stupid burglary I committed out in fucking East Greenwich. It was only 5-6 grand, but I'm a fucking asshole. I got 30 grand on me. I'll rob 5 more. That's what I do for a living. And I did it. So they bring me onto this room in the courthouse. I got all these charges hanging over my head. The bank robberies are weak, very weak. You see how I told you what they know. The kid,
yeah. It's circumstantial. Like you've just got some people saying.
I'm glad you understand that, right? It's so hard to explain it to the average person.
Well, and they're not even saying I was there and I saw him. They're just saying I know he got a car.
And that's how I know, right? And so FBI agent says to me, you and I both know it's weak. The government's probably not even going to try it, but the state will try a ham sandwich. The thing with the state, they'll try anything. They'll just throw it, hope it sticks. The feds don't do that. They're more professional. If they don't have a conviction, they don't want that on a loss on their record. They wait till they can get you.
Or, they like that. They like to boast about their 97%, 90% conviction rate.
And the reason why they have it is they don't fuck around. They look for a high cases with high, a lot of evidence, so to speak.
I always tell people, look, when the feds come to arrest you, they got your case. They got everything. Right. When the state will think something's wrong, arrest you, and then try and put the case.
Hey, it's a good way to put it. So now the problem is with me, they threw all these charges at me. So I didn't get that kind of money to fight all these charges, first of all. All of them, but the arson is the problem and the gun. But the problem with the arson is the state police organized crime unit was all over it because they figured it's got ties to organized crime. What's a guy like me doing burn on $1 million trucks to cut? I wanted to put the guy out of business, they thought. And who am I doing that for? If his union involved. And they know and the kids tell him he went here and here. So he's shown in the social clubs I went in, the people are talking to him. Okay, this thing's mob related in their mind. It's a great title. The fucking arson became more important than the bank. All right? So, because the bank is weak. So FBI agent comes in there. He goes, 18.
Yeah, but arson, by the way, just to clarify this, arson, people don't realize it. Like you say arson because they don't hear it a lot, and people don't think, oh, okay, he burnt something down. Yeah. It's serious fucking.
It'll fuck your whole life up too.
Yeah. I know guys got 15, 20, 25 years for arson.
Right.
Now to build it like.
And then after you get out, you get a lot of trouble. You can't go in this halfway house if you're going to arson because you can't get covered. It really fucks your life up in a big way. It does. This is only 4th degree. Still, to this day, it causes me trouble when I try to do certain. You got an arson charge. Oh my God. But anyway, so they arrest this kid. They threaten him with bank robbery. He starts. So they call me in this room downtown at the courthouse, Superior Court. I got the fucking prosecutor, the cop from the small town with the burglary, Lincoln police with the bank robbery, FBI, everybody from every crime from every town. They're all there. They offered me 12 years. And they first want me to talk about the bank. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, is it? Like I always say, it's not a tough guy thing. I just don't know how to do it. Are you afraid? No, I just don't know how to start. Just start by, no, I can't do it. I just couldn't do it. That's just the way I made it. They brought me back a couple of times. I had another case. It's a pain in the ass. This guy I work for, I just had to smash him in prison too before I got out, to be honest with you. So it's his duty. I have to throw this in there. This guy, he had a construction company and a small car lot. What the fuck's Stevie D's? Everybody around here knows I'll put his name out there. He's a fucking asshole. Everybody says him that. I worked for him for a little while. So As I'm working for him, because I had to work on parole, that's when I hit the bank. So I told him, Stevie, I don't want to work no more. Just keep giving me the, you had to keep getting the job slips, you understand? And so I don't want to put him out there and get him in trouble. So I got to watch how I say it. Anyway, the cops wanted to get him for money laundering, right? And, yeah, I think I can leave this alone because I don't want to get the. I got caught with the possession of a firearm. I'll put it this way: the firearm belonged to a fucking ex-cop. They were so how's a bank robber got this gun? And they thought, which ain't true, that he gave it to me. So they were fucking busting his balls. So anyway, they kept begging me, come up to the prison. Why are you protecting the Stevie? Because they wanted all that money he had, a lot of money. And they didn't like him. He had multi-million-dollar businesses. They wanted to take him down. They kept offering me deals. I'm in high security, 2 years into my bid, doing classification. I get on as a fucking cop. Get the fuck out of here. Why are you protecting that Stevie? I'm walking. Fuck you. Dean, he's no good. Yeah, shut the fuck. Yeah, this fucking kid never sent me a fucking dime. I did 18 years. And kept him out of the can, right? Motherfucker. I get out. He's trying to fucking act like he's trying to help me. He doesn't make any gestures. I'm plotting. I'm like, damn, I'm going to have to fucking do something to this kid, right? Anyway, he ends up in the can. Oh, he lied to me. He told me he was going to run this thing, this, that. Nothing happened. I got fed up. But anyway, I just got sat down recently for a year. I was out for 3 years. I got tripped up a little bit with urine. So I went back a month here, a month there. But I got acclimated to the world. So going back now, I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like civilized. It was the worst experience ever that year. It was fucking horrible. But I flattened my bid. My 30-year bid's over now. That's the beauty. I'm only on probation now, which is bad, but not like parole. But in that year, a few days before, a couple weeks before I got out, who comes in? Stevie D. He's an older guy. He's like, man, I don't want to fucking bully him. And so he's in his cell. My friend, come here. Shut the fuck up, motherfucker. Believe me, he was deserving of it. I don't even know why. I forget why I'm telling you a story. He was part of one of the cases they kept begging me and offering me a deal for. That's why I'm telling you. I kept him out of trouble. Never helped me out, not once, a motherfucker. So I ended up catching. It was up. I took 50, 30 to serve, and his wife. I don't know if I said this already, but I remember the FBI agent came in the room. I probably told you this. He said, Dean, you're a major league player on a minor league team. He goes, I thought I was going to be chasing you for 7 years. Meaning I fucked up by fucking working with these clowns, right? I was desperate, right? I just didn't see it, you know? He goes, you and I know the fucking bank's feet. I'm going to take, government's probably going to buy. His state's probably going to try on it. He's province one. He goes, but, and he was right. He goes, this arson case is good. Now, fuck it. You're only going to get 10 years. He goes, but I'm going to get a pristine jury out of South County, and you're going to get the 25 years on the 3 strikes. Here, it's called habitual offender. And believe me, he can make it happen. So I can catch 25 years, no parole, another 10 years for the arson, let's say, right? So that's like 35 years in the can, right? And then he goes, the government's going to take you for the gun. For me, a gun is 21, 22 years. They max me out. Because I got all these points, the shootings, the robberies. So we're talking fucking Jesus, man, 70 years or something. Which is nothing to do with the banks, mind you. The arson and the gun. So everybody that doesn't understand this, please. I took the deal, kept everybody out of trouble, and no one else got pinched. I had a couple of co-defendants. I took that deal because it saved my life. Look at me, I'm out now. If I didn't, I tried to fight all them, and one at a time, I didn't have the money to. I probably got 10 years here, 50 over there, 25 habitual over here. That's what I was up against. But I also had to eat the banks, which I did do, and they knew I'm rocking on like shit. They knew I did it. And so I said, all right, you can have this, but you're not getting my co-defendant. I had a co-defendant at one bank who never took a pinch, and they went to him and said, you're lucky fucking Dean's no rat. And so I kept my friends out of the can. Did anybody help me in this? Fuck no. Just my family, just to put that in there. But no one owes you. You're supposed to keep your fucking mouth shut anyway. I always tell guys that. Don't thank me. I didn't do you a favor. I did what I'm supposed to do. But people don't look at it like that anymore. But anyway, I caught the the 30 years to serve. All right, so this is a significant part of my life. I get back, the prison's all fucked up. Like I said, told you, I'm all fucked up. I'm selling H, cat and mouse game with the screws all the time, in and out of high security, 24-hour day lockdown. A guy ended up dying. They wanted to charge me with his body. He died on the H. I'm like, so anyway, I'm in high security for this. The guy passed away in the heroin, right? What happened is this. People think it exploded in his stomach. I don't know what. I didn't have nothing to do with it, but this is what I know about it because I have a police report. The kid had a couple of grams of H in his stomach for like 5 days. He was panicking. He couldn't get it out, right? He finally gets it out. And so I'm trying to just word this right here. He gets it out. Now, he don't know nothing about heroin. Funny thing is, his brother and his mother died of heroin. This kid never been a heroin addict. All of a sudden, he wants to do it. I don't know what the fuck is, I don't know. He takes him out. What happens is when the H, in those days, if it gets moist and damp, it condenses, right? So he thinks he's taking out 2 bags. It's probably 8. That's the only best way I can explain it. This is what he must have did. And so he got the dope out. He takes him, and he writes a note to his cell, neighbor in his cell. Give this to Dean and dies. What the fuck? He died after he was more or less writing a note to tell somebody that the H. The reason why he was doing it, because he worked in an industrial building. So sometimes you might not see a guy for a week. You can't catch him. He works in industry. He eats first. You can't. What the fuck? So you'll say to him, give it to that guy, to give it to that guy. He'll get it. You know how it goes, right? And that's how he wrote the fucking note. I go in the fucking, what they call a real hall. This woman's SIU was investigating, standing over a map. She's a butch, right? A butch woman. I said, hey. And I got the humor. You see how my humor is. I'm fucking nuts. Hey, what's going on? I'm just looking for a place to send you in this fucking country, like she's general fucking batting over a map, right? I said, don't do me any fucking favors. I hate this place, right? You fucking asshole, that kid's dead, you know? I didn't do it. What am I supposed to do? Anyway, I went to high security meeting. I had a Spanish friend who was Latin King. My boy Orlando, my shout out to his short dog. They all know him around here. He's kind of bowed out of that life somewhat gracefully, but he did time for 2 bodies. He was a serious kid in that life. I rode with him a lot in there. He was a Latin King. I mean, I got other stories about beefs. I left the beef out I had in that story. I don't know if I should put that one in there. When I came back on this beef. Oh, that was the other beef. I want to hear the beef. I got to tell a story. It's pretty colorful, all right? All right. So I'm trying to think of what fucking year this was. There's so many problems. I think it was during my other bid, right? 94. Yeah, it was my other bid for bank robbery. This was when the prison started changing, as I told you guys. So I had already assaulted the CO. Right. I went to high security for the assault at CO back then. And so it might sound crazy, people. So they don't want me over there with him, all that problems. So they send you to me in security, which is just like a maximum security, right? Around here it is. No different. And the prison had changed. Now we got gangs. I already had to beef with those fucking 5%ers. I tended to beef with every fucking new group that came in. Why, I don't know. So one day when the chow line, which is standing outside the chow hall, and these guys, this big motherfucker with his friends. The day before, I was in a pit working out. There's this big dude, he's about 6'5", 240. He's got the fucking 80s. He's talking to a guy. Yeah, so anyway, I took a bed. This fucking guy said to my friend, he goes, you know what that is? That's the fighter. His name was Manny Contreras. Manny Contreras. He fought Riddick Bowe. He got fucking, Riddick Bowe took him out in the first round. But to make it that far to even fight Riddick Bowe suggests you must have some fucking monsters. I said to my friend, boy, I hate to get beef with that fucking kid. The next fucking day, I'm going to beef with the guy. We're standing in line. I'm that old school con. You don't cut me in line. I'll cut your head off. That was the thinking, you know. Here he comes with his friends. They think they're running a joint. All these young boys are all Latin Kings. Cut the line. I said, oh, what the fuck are you doing? He turns around, you got a fucking problem with that? Yeah, I do. I ain't got no weapon on me. No, I'm like, jeez, here we go. He goes to eat. I run back to the block. I couldn't get back out until lunchtime. Guys are coming to me. Dino's Latin Kings are gathering. Yeah. I got my one loyal friend. He was a fighter. Now, that fighter and his brother were a fighter. My friend, Gemma, who everyone around here knows, very, very loyal, has been in my corner all the time. This poor kid, I put him in this fucking situation. So I got a knife in the yard, but the fucking Latin Kings are between me and that barrel where the knife is. So I have to make a quick razor just to get there. I make a couple of razors and get my friend one. Now, my friend's a tough kid with his hands. He's a fighter, too. They're all pro fighters, but I'm not. I walk down there. A couple of guys are like, I got your back, right? A couple of guys saying it, they don't mean it. A couple of guys meant it. Because there's a few Latin Kings gathering. This kid's a fucking monster. I'm thinking, how am I going to get this fucking right? Like, that's just stupid razor. I got to get my knife. I go up to him and say, hey, that shit that happened. Oh, this motherfucker hit me. Good thing he's big and I was quick and I seen it. I went with it. And he caught me. He caught me, but I had went with it and nothing really happened. Right? I got lucky. It's not a fucking, again. But I had my razor in my pants. And when I moved, the razor popped out. I had to reach down and get my friend thought I got knocked out. I said, no, I grabbed the razor and stepped back. Sorry, I'm moving around. So it's on. I got the razor like, you motherfucker. Come on. I'm swiping at him. He's throwing punches. But he's so big, I can I'm slipping and fucking, and he's getting a little, so anyway, somebody starts shoving me from behind. No, I got 2 fucking guys. I'm swinging at him. I'm in fucking trouble. I didn't know it, but my friend started beating up the kid's brother. My friend, they're both big kids. One of them was really big. My friend is on the other kid. So I guess sick of this. Well, as this is going on, I can hear a couple of friends that got involved. One kid slipped in. He goes, mind your business. Hit one of the Latin Kings and took him out of the picture. Another kid, when I'm turning around to fight the littler guy, another friend, Ricky Silva, I got to give him a shout on this because he saved my ass. He hit the fucking boxer. Boom, motherfucker. But he kept moving. These guys did these little punches to keep these fucking, like a pack rats all trying to get me, understand? And everybody's like, bing, boom, boom, and trying to. So I'm in the middle of this. Long story short, I think my friend went to cut him and clipped his shoulder off. It was me, I don't remember. My friend gets confused about it, but I know what happened after this. So I chased him down a little bit. Now he's on the run. I'll tell you why. He's a tough kid, but he started, as we were moving around and he sees the blood, and I went like this. I said, you're going to die today, you motherfucker. I got in his head. He started thinking he's going to die, I guess, because he started getting, so I meant to. I didn't give a fuck. At the time, I'm not like that now, but I went into that place. And then one guy, a man knows, when he's looking at another man in the eye, if you had half a fucking brain, this guy's going to kill me if I don't do something. And that's why Riddick Bowe took him out in that fucking. You ever see the footage of Manny Contreras, Jesus Contreras, and Riddick Bowe? Riddick Bowe puts him down quick. But you see how much of a monster the kid is. But anyway, he almost need me. So I'm trying to get to the bucket where the knife is, right? It's in the sand bucket. I go to get it. He grabs my head. Whew, oh, my God, that fucking knee. Whew, right? This motherfucker, he was frustrating the hell out of me. I get up, I swipe at him, try to get the knife. Nope, couldn't get it. So chasing him all over the handball court. The other kid's kicking me from behind. Here comes the fucking squad. No, they call it cold blue. My friend, so I chased the little one down and kept punching me in the back of the fucking head. I chased him down. I cut his coat open. When I did that, the big guy went over to my friend. My friend was on top of his brother, fucking pounding on him. He got my friend and kneed him in the fucking face and smashed all of this in, right? And as soon as he did it, this other kid was supposed to be helping. I said, help me, mother. I ran over and I caught him. I opened, it was 2 razors. I put 2 blades on it, you understand, for maximum effect. That's all I had. I wouldn't have never went up against this guy with a razor. I just needed to get to my knife just in case. Sure enough, it came in handy. That's all I had. Opened him up. The guy, turns out he's afraid of his own blood is what happened, I guess. I opened him up. Now he's bleeding over. Here comes the squad. Spanish girl. Other SEALs are like, afraid. I'm not going over there. Oh, I thought I lost it. So other SEALs didn't want to get involved. It's nuts back then. And some of them still got a bad nickname. So anyway, there's this woman who didn't care about that. She didn't know what was going on. She just figured it's a fist fight. Spanish correction officer. I still know. I still seen it. She just retired. She grabs me. I don't know. See, it's small here. Sometimes the SEALs are part of the Latin Kings and shit. You don't know what's going on around here. She's yelling at him in Spanish. She's telling me, abstain. I'm fucking swinging her around like a little fucking, get the fuck off me. Right? I got 1 handcuff on me. Soon she got the handcuff on, here this fucking guy comes. He's going to fucking pound me. I took her. I threw her on the fucking ground. Get the fuck out. I got 1 cuff. I picked the thing up. Let's go. He took off. Anyway, they all come. Please, dear. I said, all right. I ain't cuffing up first. Fuck that. I would walk to segregation like, fuck you. I ain't cuffing me and then they fucking fuck me up while I'm handcuffed. That's what can happen in the yard. You got to watch out for that shit, right? So everybody got cuffed up, and then I went last. That's a seg, right? He pointed me out like a fucking Irish setter. I'll never forget it. There he is right there. You fucking... But the tower seen me do it anyway. So went to high security. Ended up not charging me. He said, I don't care. I'm not going to press charges, whatever. But I went to high security for a while. While I was in high security, I got those dog kennels, as you know, like all around. He comes to me. At first, I'm in a cage with this Cuban who I know a long time, a very dangerous guy. He's trying to tell a Cuban in Spanish to move on me. And the guy's like, what you want, my friend? This guy, good man, you make a mistake. You fucked up. You make a mistake. You apologize. And he did. Like a man, not like a coward. He's like, Dean, I want to apologize for what happened. I was wrong. He goes, I learned the lesson. He didn't do it like a coward. He did it like a man who knew he was wrong. And he finally fucking admitted to it. Whether this makes sense to anybody out there or not, sometimes these things happen. So he was all right with it. Years later, he came back. He just died while my brother was there of cancer. He shriveled up and died of cancer. This guy was a heavyweight fighter. But anyway, I didn't mean to take you all the way back. I had to tell you that part. That's one of the things that happened. It happened right after the assault. I went to high security, did a couple of years. Then I went back to Max, right? Oh, fuck. I got to tell you this last part. I'm in maximum security. The day I get there in the middle of a shakedown. So I'm walking my cell. They handcuff you to the bar sometimes in front of your cell. Who's coming down the stairs? The fucking COI assaulted. I said, these motherfuckers, they're going to get me. Here it is 4 years later. And they're coming down. They still, he doesn't do nothing. No, he became a very humble guy. I don't know what I got to say because of that. It's almost like we all survived the war together. You got people even on the other side. When the war's over, it's like, how you doing? How you doing? And that's kind of what it became like, And he ended up dying of cancer too. The fucking people were dropping it left and right. I don't know why. But anyway, to fast forward, well, where the fuck I left off with that, but when I went back, I caught the bid at 30 years. All right, so I'm in high. Here's the important part I want to tell you. So I got a little bit of trouble with high security for traffic, and I'm like, you fucking getting old. I'm in high security selling. They're like, you're getting old. What are you doing? You're 35. No, at the time I was like 43. I was a few years into the bid. I caught it when I was 35. I was like 42 now, like 7 years. I'm like, what the fuck are you going to do? The reason why is I'm watching guys around me fucking deteriorate. Understand? And it's scary. You start to question your own sanity. I was in seg for 2 years, 23 hours a day, lockdown. You understand? That's a fucking... Other guys are in 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 years. But 2 years is enough for me. So, and little things are happening. One friend of mine next door, to give an example, he's going to hear this like you fucking asshole. I won't say his name, but he's in the vet. So every day we come out, he goes, they keep going in my fucking cell and shaking it down. We would come out in this little courtyard. We were at a level instead of the cages, now in this courtyard, you go to 2 levels, right? So he thinks they're shaking his cell down every time he goes out. I'm like, I don't think so. I would say, because I'm telling you. And he's the type of guy, he'll smash a CO over that. Like, stop fucking harassing me. So he's like, there. I said, no. So this is what I have to, there's a reason why I tell you this. He's like, so I said, all right, let's see tomorrow. I go out. I watched. They didn't go in. So I said, don't tell me. I said, why do you think they shook you down? He said, they keep moving my fan. I said, your fan, where is it? It's on my desk. Is it on? Yeah. Is it on high? Your fucking fan is jumping down, you fucking... But that's what that place does to you. Didn't we move your fan? It's moving on its own. Oh, what the fuck? You was fucking... And that's the shit. There was one guy would tap on your fucking wall and seg for weeks. First, he'd get to know you and tell you a few things. You might tell him a few things about yourself. My grandmother died, my wife left. That's why your wife left you, fucking scumbag. Would tap on your fucking wall every waking moment that he could. He would take you into a dark place. You gotta be careful, right? So that was going on. One guy's at an event. It's me, Ann, your wife. Why'd you kill me? He's telling her, like, fuck. Guys are sticking shit. People are going fucking nuts, right? I'm like, what the fuck am I? So I said, let me try artwork. I was like a fucking little kid. That didn't work. So one day, this kid said, write some stories. So I had this kid. He's like a hardened killer in the cell next to me. And I wrote this story about, every time I bring the fire up, something comes over me. It's the weirdest thing. So I wrote the story about the firebombing. And the fucking kid was so impressed. He's like, Dean, you gotta keep writing, please. You don't understand. You moved me with that story. And every time I even think about it, I get even emotional. The weirdest thing. Probably because my whole family almost got whacked, probably. I don't know. But that story is what kicked. Then I wrote the other one. There's one more. There's a couple I always stick to. The fire. I forget what the other one is now. Probably when I got waved out or something, whatever it was. A couple of significant things. But anyway, that's what kicked me off. And then I started realizing the therapeutic value of writing. So that led me to wanting to take a college course to get better at writing. So I took a Brown University college course that was available. And that led me to want to get more of it. And I started getting the confidence. At first, I didn't have the confidence to go to college. I didn't think I had it in me. I didn't realize my level of intelligence was I had that ability. Not that I was super smart, but I realized within myself I have an ability to go to college. If you don't know any of that stuff, you're a little intimidated by it. So I ended up getting an associate's degree, right? And I started like getting civilized. I started trying to do it. And then I asked them in maximum security to give me a chance to talk to the kids. And that, at first, my agenda to talk to the kids was just, I want to, show the probe what I'm doing something. I didn't give a fuck, right? High school kids, middle school kids, college kids, and sometimes civilians, right? Giving speeches. And that really had an impact on me. It got twisted on me. Like, in other words, it affected me in a good way, right? I was like, wow. So this is like my journey to getting civilized. The funny thing is, I could be writing about, let's say, a pregnant woman, which I know nothing about. And you're in the cell next to me, and your sister's pregnant, right? And let me ask you a question on the phone. Are you come on, man? I'm trying to, hey, in your third trimester. So the weird thing is you get to know people and know things by writing about characters. The characters almost become real. It's the weirdest thing how it takes you down that journey, right? And that's kind of what kept me out of trouble. I started writing. I started talking to kids. I finally made it to Medium. They let me in a dog program. I got a barber's license, which I don't even use. But I wanted to do it to get myself, to see if I could do it, to be honest with you. I had a few accomplishments along the way. I'm in a bachelor's degree program now, but I just don't really have the time to go. There's one or two other things in there I was able to accomplish. But the writing, I actually have part 2 to the book I have now. Actually, I'm plugging the book now. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, of course. What is the name of the book?
So the book is Dark Impressions, right? I want to tell you about this book. This book here, I was in segregation and maximum security when it came out. I don't know why I can't get it right. All right, I'm going to tell you about this ugly cover, actually. Dark Impressions by Dean Wilkinson, written in a maximum security cell. Okay? I want to tell you about it a little bit. So I'm in maximum security about 12 years ago. I started writing this, right? I had to buy books to learn how to write about books. I'm not this great writer, but apparently I got something in there that attracts people, right? But so it took me 4 times. And first, I had to learn how many words. You had to keep it around 60 to 80,000 words. If you overdo it, that's too much, blah, blah, blah. I had to learn a lot about writing. But anyway, while everyone's screaming and hollering about sports and talking shit, I'm in that fucking cell. I became like a fucking animal. Tuned in. I'm walking around. Yeah, how you doing? I got to get to this chapter, right? People are like, what the fuck's that with this guy? It just consumes you, right? And so I bought a few books and learned how to write and took the college courses like I told you. And that just led to me expanding my mind, right? And I did a couple other things I can't think of that don't seem significant on the surface. But for a guy like me in my situation, there were a couple of courses. Here's what happened, too. So they had what's called the Sunshine Program. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They did it. They fund. You have to have a certain score, a certain level to get in it. Once you get, because normally you just do 1 class a year. If you get in this program, which I did, you get like 2, 4, 6, 8 classes a year. That's a lot in prison. So basically, I got my things. I was taking 2 at a time. That's really big in prison to get it done that fast. But I had one, a contest to get in it. Then I wrote, I can't remember save my life. I wrote a national essay up against people in all the prisons and all the people on the street and won, like 3rd place. I won $500, which went to paying for some of my classes. All right. And I want to tell you about an essay I wrote that didn't go anywhere where I thought was worthy. Justice Department challenged inmates all around the country to write something. You may have seen this. To write something they think could help change the recidivism, right? And I thought this was a good idea because I thought of myself. So you probably know guys. There's a lot of guys in the can. They could be tough guys on the yard. They got a reputation, but they're terrified to go to school. And here's why. They can't sit in that classroom with a bunch of the same guy you might have been extorting or who looks at you in a certain light. Now they become the guys almost in control because they know they're intelligent and you take a back seat to them in that classroom. It sounds stupid, but some guys have false pride. They're not going to let this guy who he could extort and suddenly be in charge in the classrooms. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
So I happen to know that a lot of guys who want to change, they have that energy to be an asshole in prison and be dangerous. They're looking for a way out. They don't really know how. And school, obviously, education is the way out, but they can't do that. They can't transform. My brother was like that. That's how I really know. You have to set in your mind, fuck it, I'll go in there. It sounds stupid, but it's a real thing. Nobody wants to look like stupid in front of everybody else. So I wrote in an essay, why don't you, I'm trying to think, virtual reality. You start these guys off in a classroom with virtual reality. Now they got nobody else watching, just an instructor. And they can learn like that and they can progress like that until their confidence is built to sit into a classroom. But I never heard back from that. So that was my, chance at some type of significant essay. But
probably more money. That would probably require more money than they wanted to admit.
Yeah, right. That's the stuff I probably didn't know. But hey, you want an idea? Here you go. But I know that could change certain guys who are unable to make that transformation. Because a guy that could be an asshole has a lot of energy at doing it. I don't know what he's the word asshole, but maybe he's an aggressive guy. Oh, the whole thing is harnessing the aggression. That's all I did. I've learned to harness my aggression,
It's going to mention one thing. Do you know who Jordan Peterson is?
Yes,
you probably love his stuff. He's a Canadian professor. And one of the classes he teaches, I think it's like a course that you can buy online. Anyway, is he talks about, people will approach him and young men will approach him and people will approach him and be like, how do you become successful? And he said, one of the things he says is, he says, make your bed is the first. He's like, will you wake up in the morning? It's like, it's a start, right?
Yeah. Baby steps.
And yeah, exactly. And the other thing is one of the big things is learn how to write. And people kind of laugh at that. They'd laugh like, oh, you mean like And he'd be like, no. He's like, I mean, like how to write an essay, how to write an outline, how to write a book. Because if you can learn how to write, you can program your brain on how to think.
There you go.
In a long,
good way to put it. That's right.
And most people can't do it. Most people can write a note. Hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Hey, pick up this. Right. If you say, hey, can you write me an essay about what you do on a daily basis? Can't do it.
You're right.
Can't.
Yeah. And the impact of it is unbelievable. Now I know why they say writing is cathartic. I get it now, man.
It reprograms your brain, and it allows it. It teaches you how to think constructively. Is I think one of the things he says.
That's right. You could be writing about a character similar to you in the book, and you're making change in this character's life. Like, the fuck? You could be doing it. You could be doing it. What the fuck you saying the character's doing? It changed my trajectory in life. I'm not saying I have a little hiccups along the way, but it really did. It changed my trajectory, you know?
Well, what you said is the same thing with me. I actually had to buy and have several books sent into me to learn how to read those books, like how to,
That's what I did.
It was like, and I mean that I bought the ones that were like, how to write a memoir for dummies.
Yeah.
The idiots. I
was scraping books up all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading these books, and they're, they were great. You read them, and then you start with an outline, and you build the outline, and before you know it, you don't really need the outline anywhere. Look, although I still do it,
right?
But it's great, and it does. It reprograms you.
It's unbelievable.
When I was in prison, and I started doing that, and over that course of that 6-month period to a year that I taught myself how to write, that's when I think there was just probably a real fundamental change in my thinking.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you, one of the significant ways it impacted me is prison. When you do a lot of time, you're going young, it robs you of your identity in a way, right? Not if you're already like old and you had a life and you go in, like your identity kind of stays intact. I went as a kid when already lost. So I'm winning at 16. Here I'm at fucking 42. When I started, really, you got no real identity out in the world. And I wanted a fucking identity, like attach author to it or something. I don't know, something like that. I wanted to do something other than, first of all, when I first seen the word sociopath or institutionalized, I was like, no fucking way. That's not me. Because my picture could have been next to it, right? Yeah. That inspired me to go. And at that time, I know everybody that looked at me as exactly that. Now, I'm not saying you got to care about what everybody thinks, but you can also glean from what they're saying. That's what might be wrong with you. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I didn't like that words, man. And so all that type of shit inspired me to fucking, accomplish something. Sometimes I do it for the wrong reasons, but I still arrived there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I have a friend, I won't mention his name. And he did, I want to say 30 years and went in when he was like 19, 20, young, did like 30, probably a little bit more than 30 years. And one of his biggest problems now is that he's like, I have no interests other than prison-related interests.
Oh, I know people.
Gang activities. Like, it's like all I want to watch, all I think about, all I think about. I have no interest in anything. And he hates it. Like, he hates it about himself. He doesn't know how to change it.
Yeah. Wow. I think I was stuck like that. I have a relative who was stuck like that. I was like, that's what inspired me to change. I'm like, I'm not going to be like that. Standing around talking the same old bullshit. What the fuck? No way. That's scary. But I don't want to fucking, I understand that poor gentleman's situation. I need to acknowledge that too, that he's stuck, and I get it. Thank God I had the ability to get out. I'm not saying I'm completely free. I'm fucking still got issues going on, but I have a good work ethic. I can conduct myself in a conversation. You got to just learn some simple things, and you can fake your way to the rest until you get there. If you keep doing it over and over, you'll arrive at some point. But you got to start somewhere. You got to maybe he's got to get away from any element he's around, something like that. I don't know, man. Eesh. God. I see guys in the store sometimes. Man, was that someone? What the fuck? A guy in a restaurant. I was in a can with you, all proud. Come on, knock it off. Wait, I'm with my fucking girl. What are you doing? I don't like that shit. But, I got a lot of relatives. One who's here now. Like, these people are fucking civilized and what's the word I'm looking for? They're like well adjusted. I'm not going to come out and look at what they expected, and they got something different, which I'm sure they're proud of, right? When you hear the story and you meet me, like, well, this ain't exactly what we thought. You're going to be like running around with a fucking butcher knife all day. I don't know. So I like to I'm just trying to shake that title off, that image off. And I'm able to do that once I meet you and talk to you, it's a big thing, learning how to even conduct a conversation, I'm going to tell you the biggest thing I've learned about doing time. The biggest thing is emotional intelligence. For those of you who are not familiar with it, that's when you misdirected anger, you're getting mad or something, you're blaming it on somebody else. What happens is in prison, you don't really have real life experiences. People are going to weddings, they're going to funerals, people are dying, they experience. You don't grow with that shit. It's happening out in the world, but it ain't happening too. Like you're growing as a kid. So there's no emotional growth, and that's like emotional intelligence. So now you're used to being in prison and John pissed you off, so you're going to fucking smack Tony in the fucking face because you're in bed. That's all misdirected. That's all emotional intelligence shit. You got to learn to control your emotions. That's a big one, right? A lot of guys on the can, there's no emotional growth. They get out and they don't emotionally know how to respond to stuff. Somebody died. Even me when I first got out, I could be close to you. Hey, my mother died. I get all fucked up. Like, all right, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what the fuck to say, right? Really, I'm supposed to know what to say. And I don't like saying generic stuff. I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't fucking stand that. I hate to say that. I know people mean well. I hate generic talk. You're saying what everybody else is going to say, and I shut up. I wouldn't say that to people. I hate that. But I just don't like generic. I'll wait, give a guy a time, and then go see him when everybody's done with their generic bullshit. Say for your loss, goodbye then. Honey, let's go to dinner. Get the fuck out of here with that fake shit, right? And I'll be like, listen, man, I can imagine what you're going through. It's just weird. I have a different approach to that stuff, But in the early days when I got out, I didn't know how to respond to any of that stuff. Somebody died in your family. Okay, I got to get out of here. I don't know what to say. Fucking asshole. But that's because I didn't know. I didn't know emotionally how to respond to things. So prison fucks you up. I did 38 years for you. Count the last year I just did, that 1 year. It's a lot. I did my whole life in there. I just can't believe it when I look from the outside. But I also am grateful that I can conduct myself. I've been, I'm doing all right as far as acclimating back to the world. I know how to use my phone. I got a bank account, all this stuff. That's like going to NASA for me. But I got to say, I've been all right. I'm struggling. I'm getting over my head with bills and shit. I got to learn how to, spend properly. See what's that word you said?
Budget your money?
Yeah, shit like that. And, but I have good people around me. I've been very fortunate, man. And they come from nowhere. Sometimes they're never the person you expect, like the guy who's got me started here. I'm going to give Ryan a shout out, my niece's husband. This is a kid who believes in me. Other people, because I fell down a couple of times, they don't get it. Yeah, I came when I was on pro, under a lot of stress, did some powder, high, fell down, went back. Oh my God, he's going, are you out of your fucking mind? I was shooting guys and robbing banks. All right, I slipped, but take it easy. This is a minor fall. I know it's bad. But listen, this is me tripping along the way. I'm trying to get there. So I fell down because everyone can't.
Massive improvement.
Yeah, a massive improvement. You go,
look at it. Failing a UA is a massive improvement compared to a bank robbery.
And they don't get it. But this kid gets it. Ryan's like, all right, he fell down, but I know what he's got in him. He believes in me, right? And I get a couple people believe in me, and they get behind me, and they push. While other people kind of give up. They don't want to say it. They can't look me in the eye and say it, but kind of, it wasn't with me all the way. I got a couple of family members that been with me from the beginning, but they're a little hesitant because I fall down. Hey, listen, like you said, there's still an improvement. You can tell if you know anything about me, my strengths, what I've overcome. I'm really trying to get this done. I'm trying to make something of this. I ain't got no fucking choice. I got to do something different. I got our job, but just the job won't cut it. I got to come up with something a little more, another job or something, But, I don't know if I wrap that story up there.
Yeah, you're good. We're good. Do you want, so what social media platforms do you have? Is it, like YouTube? You have YouTube?
I'm on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, which someone more or less manages when we know nothing about it. Right? They help me with it. And my niece just put me on TikTok like a week ago. And all of a sudden, all these people got interested, right? And they're telling me, no, really, I did all this to plug the book, which is really what this is. No, of course, it feels good. I have that small part of me that tries to get back in its own way. But at the end of the day, I ain't going to be a phony. I am trying to plug my book. I got money to make here. A lot of hard work, right? So, but things are starting to happen along the way. And so for those of you that haven't seen this book yet, there it is, Dark Impressions. Man, I wrote this thing in the can, all in the hole. I was so ignorant to this stuff. Look at me. I can't even find my way. So I wrote this book in prison, Dark Impressions, right? I don't know if I told you. So I'm in segregation. Oh, yeah, I wanted to finish telling you about the cover. I'm in segregation. Did I tell you I was in segregation? The CO lets me see it on the computer, right? I'm in segregation. I'm in a hole for something. I wrote the book. I sent it to some woman. That's a whole nother story. This woman I met, I had to find someone because I couldn't have a routing number in prison. You can't put on Amazon with a routing number. So I found this woman. I wanted her to help me edit, right? She helps me. We're going back and forth. I'm sending her the manuscript. This fucking psycho starts thinking the book's hers. When I get out, she's selling them on the side. That's a whole nother fucking issue. I was so fucking, she's in another state trying to fucking putting her title on my book. Unbelievable story, right? Meanwhile, I was in segregation, and I'm walking by with handcuffs on. I said to the CEO, didn't you ever see my books up? And he goes, come here. And he shows it to me. And there it is online. I got all excited. I went back to my cell. It was my first moment of crossing over into doing stuff, insignificant. I got through that segregation bit with a fucking smile. I just feel like I accomplished something. I can accomplish anything now. That whole mentality is what I got inspired, let's say, right? I never looked back to it. I got in trouble along the way, still sold heroin because I needed to make ends meet. I had to pay for the people to, help me with the book and stuff. But I kept writing and it just kept me out of trouble, But, you can't quit your day job writing either, Here it is years later. I kind of set the book down. I got part 2 sitting at home, Lethal Ties. It's the same character, the protagonist. You follow him as he now becomes disillusioned with the life, right? And the difficulties of detaching yourself from the life, right? And I wrote my autobiography, which is just sitting. These things have been collecting dust. I've now been inspired to go back at it because like I told you, it sat me down for a year. Had some other issues going on. I ended up I was in the middle of a divorce. I'm still in the struggle. Don't get me wrong. I'm working. I work pretty hard. I'll tell you what, I got to give these 2 guys a shout that helped me because it comes from nowhere. So for one, I needed a car, obviously, to get to work. I scraped up $1,000 of a friend. I needed $2,000 to get this car to this car lot. And these guys bent over backwards at Richmond Motors for me, right? And I wanted to give them a shout out from North Main Street. These guys helped me out big time. They bent over. They made it. So they got other places in Rhode Island. I won't say the name there, but they're like loan sharks compared to these guys. These guys made it possible for me, the ex-con, with my difficulties to get out. And I got myself a 2016 Altima, but hey, it gets me back and forth to work. So those 2 guys down there, they helped. The names elude me now. But anyway, they helped me out at Richmond Motors. So if you're in this area and you got an issue with that, you make sure you check out Richmond Motors. And my other thing is the guy I worked for. This guy held my job for a year. This is how much this guy, and they don't even really need me there. He just wants to make sure I keep on the right track. So I work at this heat treating plant, S&P heat treating. And of course, they gave me a way to describe what I do. I treat metals. I don't even have the professional way to say it. But I'm not a metallurgist or nothing, but we do treat metals and alloys for various companies. It could be clips for guns, hospital implements, and you change it by making it amenable, softening it, and all this other stuff, right? Sometimes it's too brittle. And so I'm still learning that game. But my boss held my job for me. He did one hell of a job. Mike Raposa. And the 2 guys at the college, I don't want to waste a lot of time on this, but they did so well by me. They got, at Richmond Motors, I got Mike and Mark. You look those 2 up. I really appreciate all of you. So it's pretty good that you need those guys in your life if you're me. You get out of the can, most people, this guy was in a can. Get rid of this fucking guy. Not these guys. They recognize sometimes in a guy like me, just because I committed, really, I'm a guy with a work ethic. If I can go rob banks and get up and do all this other shit, that means I have a work ethic. It's just a matter of twisting it around. Some people recognize that. I'm like, hey. What you got to say?
You just have to redirect it.
Redirect it. How does it redirect it, right? And the same thing with the anger, right? I think I come to look at that author. He survived. His family passed away. They killed his parents. And Viktor Frankl, you familiar with him? Some of his quotes?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm making your pain, whatever. I forget some of it now, but I remember reading that, and it made sense to me, It's about taking all that negative energy and twisting it, Don't walk around, oh, my God, my life. No, fuck you. I take that energy and it propels me. I don't always get it right. Sometimes I slip off the track while I'm doing it, but I keep getting, my strong point is I can get back up. That's my thing. I get back up when I fall. I definitely fell a few times, You're going to fall along. There's no way you're going to walk out of, you're going to walk away from 38 years in a can. And just, some guys do maybe. I don't know how they do it, but a lot of guys are going to fall down first. A lot of guys slip into drugs. They want to fucking medicate the whole thing, right? I had my moments with that, medicating the issue, right? I never was a bad on drugs, but boy, I was abusing it. It caused me trouble, too much powder, too much of this, too much of that. And I've gotten 30 urines, and it sat me down for that shit. So I'm getting there. I'm acclimating. I've come a long way, and thank God for the support I got. I don't know if I finished talking about Ryan, my niece's husband, but this kid came out of nowhere. It's like, you got something there. We're going to fucking make this happen. And I'm going to say, and this was like 2 fucking weeks ago. Here I'm sitting in front of you. This fucking shit made it happen. I'm running to other guys that like this, they're pretty good at it, but they don't really get nothing done. This guy doesn't waste no time. He's all action. So shout out to my boy, Ryan. Got me in the studio. Excuse me.
Let's end it with that.
Okay.
So my editor will probably leave it with that.
Okay.
Well, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, and I'm gonna do I'm gonna wrap it up. So hold on. All right. Hold on. Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. If you like the video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos like this. Also, share the video. We're going to leave Dean's links to his book. We're going to leave the links to his YouTube channel and his TikTok. Please click on the links and go there and subscribe and follow him. He's trying to get all of this off the ground. I would really appreciate that. Also, listen, thanks for watching the video, and I really do appreciate you guys watching, and buy one of his books. Yeah.